Hey, we are ready to go live with our casters Dean and Hoka for the final game of the day. So boys, take it away.
Thank you, guys. As mentioned, this is the final best of three of the day, and as always, rather, it is going to be myself and Hoka just taking you through all the action. So getting live into the knife round now. Let's see who's going to be able to get that nice CT side start over on Inferno.
Yeah, this is actually a rematch of the opening game in this group, so this will be a pretty interesting one. The veto has gone the exact same way, and it is now the decider match of Group A. So let's see who can come out on top. Last time around, it was Ago who won 2-0. They managed to win Inferno in double overtime, and then a tight win on Cobblestone as well, 16-12. So this certainly could still be a close series. But I think Ago probably still have to be favorites. They've been a pretty solid team in the sort of online CS region, I guess. Not region, but you know what I mean. In online CS, they've been really solid recently. They've been even winning a couple of tournaments. So they're certainly favorites. And we're going to head underway with Ago, all going straight down towards B. The classic rush banana, and Grubby already gets the entry.
Yeah, Coldy trying to get that early pick is just not really going to work out at all. He gets instantly dropped. Two players insta dinks on towards him, as now it's all up to Dima on the back of the bomb site to try and actually get something done. He's trying to stay alive at the same time. He finds one kill eventually, rather, but he will eventually be dropped, and Furlan with a great headshot onto the player who got boosted up in the spawn. So it's only Sumda Young and Sotvik now that are remaining to try and clutch this one out. Sumda Young trying to get it done from the Kyles. Will actually be able to get some damage as well as a kill onto Furlan. So it does give a chance now for Spirit to try and go for this retake, but as he drops the PHR, that should be it, unless Sotvik gets some amazing shots, and it was looking possible there as he did get the first.
I mean, he does have the kit, but the time is already ticking down. Grubby going to come in, and there goes that final frag. Without the Kevlar, pretty easy to finish off Sotvik. So Ago, with the quick B push, do get the first round. I think that's why you see quite a few teams stack 3 players towards Banana, or even try and push down mid, especially on the pistol rounds, because it seems fairly commonplace to see the quick B play come in for the Ts. But Spirit don't go for that, and it costs them. They lose that initial pistol round, but ooh, Sotvik doing some damage out towards mid. He gets the tag onto PHR. That prompts him to trade the AK out to Furlan. You saw there, Sotvik went for some further aggression before eventually falling back, content with the early damage.
Yeah, he should actually be fairly happy with that. He was able to bring PHR down quite low to 30 HP, allowing now those pistols later on in the round to have a bit of an easier time. But as the peak comes in from Sotvik once again, this time he won't be so fortunate. He doesn't connect his shot, and instead he's going to be the one that gets taken down to only 16 points of HP. And without Kevlar, I'd say he's basically taken out his round already, because with a scout and no Kevlar, 16 HP, it's going to be unlikely he really gets too much done. But he will at least be making the right decision about grouping up over towards that B-bomb site with 2 more of his teammates, as a bit of a B stack coming in at the moment. And AGO, they may walk directly into this one, which could get dangerous considering at the moment there's still a lot of smokes in play for Team Spirit. They have a lot of utility to try and delay this push, but the bomb actually making its way back up mid, so a bit of a fake, perhaps a bit of a raid now coming in by AGO, as they are going to be making their way back over towards A, where only Sumda Young is going to be in position to actually try and defend.
And there you go, they're still taking their time. Sachi is leaving himself in towards B, but as that kill comes in, that should basically put an end to the round. Snatchy is going to emerge through the smoke, and he will get a kill as a reward. Eventually the trade comes in, but only an MP7 lost, not a massive gun to give away. Having said that, if Spirit do save these guns that they have, they would be able to drop their pistols over to their team and have everyone on some sort of upgraded weapon for the upcoming round. So that would be something to work with, especially after having stacked the B site unsuccessfully. Certainly worth going for that. And that is exactly what they will do. So the third round could still be somewhat competitive, as Spirit will get to save a few guns.
Yeah, getting 1 kill, not too bad, I guess, but still, being able to keep 2 of those rifles AGO, they'll be happy enough with that round overall. They were able to get the bomb down, only losing 1 kill in the process, so they're happy enough with just allowing Spirit to save these couple of weapons that they do have. And into this next round, it should be slightly easier than the previous, of course, but still an opportunity for Spirit to try and get something done with those, with the SMG and the pistol that was saved over, as well as the scout, of course, by Davcost, who is, of course, the up player for Team Spirit, so maybe one of the players who could be stepping it up now to really get some damage done. As AGO, knowing that they're up against a weaker buy once again, they will continue on with at least 2 MAC-10s. Tau and PHR, they'll be the players that are going to be sent in to try and scout out. clear out and try and spot if it's going to be another gamble by Team Spirit or if it's going to be a stack towards either bomb site. But there we go. Early on, it's going to be the opening kill going in favour of Groovy. He's able to take down Sotfik fairly easily, and now with the players wrapping in towards the CT spawn, this should be the round in favour of AGO, especially with the bomb now being retrieved, brought back towards Banana. Now finds an important kill onto Coldy, and it's all onto Demon now, as he is at least trying to get something done, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for Snatchy. He returns it instantly with a headshot.
Yeah, AGO didn't necessarily need to go for a sort of wrap in towards CT. They probably could have got away with just all pushing down Banana and just sticking together, but it still works out fairly well for them either way. And so it will be AGO taking the 3-0 lead as expected. And Gribby, I think, spotted a small gap in the smoke for that kill. Yeah, you can see there was a tiny gap there in play, so he manages to get the frag. It's going to be 3-0 to AGO. Their money is also looking pretty good at this point. I guess the question mark is, do they want to hold on to the MAC-10? Well, for the time being, they're hunting down SDY. So if they lose another gun, they might not have to hold on to the MAC-10 because they would have to save the 3 AKs, but no kills come out. So Tau will have the option to keep the MAC-10. I don't expect them to go for a fast B push again, though. This time around, Spirit should be ready for that. And you can already see Coldy going down to a UMP to make sure he has the full nades. When you have nades like this, it's very easy to slow any Banana aggression early. So unlikely to see AGO go for that again, but a 3-0 lead for them to work with. And they are actually grouping up. This could be another fast B push. This is ballsy.
Yeah, I was thinking a fast B or a fast mid was very likely, and Snatchy with a perfect spawn will be the first player to try and push this down, but no success so far. It seems to be everything in favour of Team Spirit. Eventually PHR is able to bring 1 kill back, but now it's all on to Groovy. 1 on 4. Stuck on Banana at the moment as Sumda Young holding a very tight angle here towards mid. Maybe not looking for the kill, more just looking for the info to spot if this player actually does come back. But he may be able to find it as Groovy does just slowly peek this angle, and there you go. Info is obtained. Groovy now with his position known. 4 on 1, and this is just getting even more difficult.
Yeah, and I think props to Coldy on that round. Going down to the UMP to have the nades for Banana, that really made a massive difference. You saw the incendiaries and nades did a lot of the damage. And Sotfik, speaking of damage, gets that final kill. Made it look very, very stylish as well. A smooth swing out for the headshot, taps the head off. And Spirit get their first round together, and Davkost didn't even have to do anything with the AWP that he invested. Might be tested on this round, though, because AGO still have a buy in their hands. Davkost is thinking of peeking towards mid. He had a good spawn for it, and he will decide to do so. With there not being an AWP on the AGO side, it's not a terrible idea as the peek comes in. Davkost spots out the leg and takes down Tau. Solid entry again for Spirit. Okay, well, never mind. Just gets neutralized by Furlan, as you do, through the smoke. It's actually a 4v4.
Yeah, and AGO will be very happy with that trade. A bit of luck, perhaps, was found there by Furlan just spamming into the smoke, but a good find indeed as the op now on Banana looking to try and bring it back, but he's not going to be able to successfully hit that shot. For now, the T's look like they will be just grouping up and hitting the A-bomb site, where there is already quite a few players ready to try and hold this one down. They have Coldy still in arch, all 4 players grouped up on short looking to try and make their way up, as I believe Furlan has spotted this player in the P. He finds that kill. Snatchy with a team kill, actually making this even harder for AGO, as now it's all on the Snatchy in a 1-on-2. Bomb has been dropped in the open, still plenty of time to work with. He's not really in too much of a rush at the moment, as he can just try and force one of these 1 versus 1s. And the off of Davkost now has been smoked off, and with Coldy not looking too healthy, definitely a winnable situation. Flash also in play for Snatchy. Is not going to have his back exposed at the moment towards the apartments, rather, which could be quite dangerous. And as you see that, eventually Coldy, because of that, will be able to find the final kill. And it's AGO to succeed 2 rounds in a row. So Team Spirit, they showed that it wasn't a fluke there when they picked up that first gun round. They're able to do it once again. And this time they do at least keep 2 players alive, including the op in the hands of Davkost.
Nicely done by Spirit to close that second round. It was quite a well-placed smoke as well, just to make things extremely awkward for AGO. I think that kind of forced the team kill to occur. It forced AGO to really just funnel through similar positions, and then Spirit utilized that fully to their advantage, slowing down the push. And eventually, even though Snatchy was left in a 1v2, which was winnable, it was certainly going to be favored towards Spirit, as they could always try and work together to get the trade kill through. So now Spirit should be fairly heavy favorites in this 6th round, because they're only up against Pistols, They do want to make sure they don't play too close in towards apartments, for example, because that could be a risk they don't need to take. And Davkos realizes that. He just decides to fall back after spotting the players, and he does hit the flick. Very nicely done. Solid first kill. He might get overwhelmed, though. Indeed, the AWP is lost, and Coldie decides not to go aggressive, so Furlan gets that into his hands. Maybe he can make the difference now with plenty of time left.
Yeah, that up really could be dangerous, but it seems to have actually been dropped over to Snatchy, the only player without Kevlar, perhaps, so he can work the long-range angles as his teammates with the pistols, just try and close the distance. They do have the armor, of course, to allow them to avoid the aim punch, but here we go. Tao, he'll be the first player to find contact, is yet to find the kill, though, as he receives a lot of damage and is brought down to 1 point of HP. And with the bomb in apartments and Dima hitting a great one-tap onto Snatchy, that should be the round now gone in favour of Team Spirit, because the time getting so low, the bomb all alone now, and as you can see, it's all on to Tao. 1 on 4, making his way back towards B fast. Perhaps will be able to get the bomb plant. I think it's very likely actually at the moment, as finally Spirit will have heard those footsteps going up Banana, but I think actually Dima may be in position to shut this down. I don't think the bomb plant is going to come in. Tao at 1 HP needs to find his kill if he wants the chance to get the bomb down, and as you can see, not possible. Dima shuts it down. Really nice shots coming in there in that round, especially by Dima. That one tap onto Snatchy with the op was extremely important. If he had gotten taken down there, that would have been an opening towards the B bomb site for the terrorists to work with. So finally, AGO, they get the rifles back out now.
Yeah, Spirit managed to stabilize after losing the pistol. They are now the ones slightly favored, you would say. They get to go for the AWP again, and they get to try and see if Davkos can find an entry. With Ago going in towards second mid, that could be happening. Although Davkos won't want to stick around for too much longer because he is exposed from apartments. So as the flash comes out, he decides to fall back and play safe. Smoke is also deployed, and Ago... Ooh. Not the best flash, but I was going to say they have no presence back towards B, where Dima has pushed all the way down Banana. If he went for a further push, he would flank them towards mid, but no need to take that risk just yet, as you can see Ago just barreling through the smokes. This is quite a risky push, and Davkos hasn't been smoked off. He's going to get that first kill with ease. Having said that, he goes for the repeak and misses that second shot. So that allows them to collapse towards A, but the push has come in towards B. Still trades coming in. Some Die Young gets 2 kills from Pit, and that makes all the difference because Snatchy is the only man left. Another solid hold from Spirit on the A site.
Yeah, for these last few rounds, they seem to have just had full control of the game, and Snatchy with his position known looks like they will hunt them down. Need to be careful. There is very low HP on the 2 of these players, and if Dima had lost that fight, it could have got a little bit. It definitely could have got a bit scary, but yeah, he wins that one out. At least does ensure that Spirit take that 4th round for themselves, and AGO once again, without even getting the bomb plant, they will be stuck back onto the eco. They will have at least quite a bit of money bonus moving forward. In the upcoming round, they will be getting the full amount, $3,400 of course, so it allows them to at least invest a small amount into this round. Get pistols, get Kevlar onto a couple of players, and try to keep the economy of the CT side modest. And there you go, Davkos early on, he goes for an aggressive peek, and all he receives is some damage. Doesn't get himself any kills to work with immediately, at least, as for now he will begin to repost onto this angle on mid.
Ooh, Coldie forces the man out. The M4 will convert the first kill. SDY is playing surprisingly close here. If a player were to push apartments, he could be in trouble. But the off angle won't really be required by the looks of things. No Ago players necessarily pushing forwards just yet. You can see Ago with Grubby and Furlan going for the buddy system up Banana. But they're not going to be buddies for much longer because Furlan is now dead. And Grubby is left by himself. Sad times.
Yeah, very sad times, as Dima should be finding this kill also. That was actually a bit closer than I would have expected. I guess the Molotov kind of obscuring his view, allowing for Gruby to try and work the kill. I believe came in through the corner of the wall even, but it doesn't really seem like much is going to be done by AGO either way, as Snatchy was going for a bit of a lurk. He managed to creep his way in towards CT spawn, but the second he set his feet down on the side of the CT spawn, he was just immediately dropped by the upper. So Tao, being the last man standing, is trying to make his way into B, but as we can see anyway, Coldie is just going to drop him instantly. A headshot comes in, and once again Spirit with a great CT hold. They're building up such a strong bank right now in AGO. They're going to have to win at least a few rounds in a row to finally put Spirit onto the pistols, and that's if they can even start to win some rounds now. As Spirit 5-3 lead, 5 in a row. As a reminder, AGO did pick up the pistol round, but Snatchy, he does have the op now to work with, so let's see where he decides to take this.
Well, for the time being, he's just in towards second mid. So that's not really going to find him a chance for an entry. In the meantime, on the Spirit side, they did have 3 towards Banana, but now Sophic will rotate back around. And Dima in towards Banana, down to 13 HP. I think that was the spam from Furlan. So Dima now has to fall off the angle, leaving Coldy all alone. In the meantime, SDY holding a similar position in towards Balcony. But it doesn't look like he will be required just yet, as I was saying previously, because Ago just sitting back towards mid, not really going for any massive aggression, although they are grouped up towards Banana, where the smoke has just faded. So if Coldy goes down, then that's going to force a desperate rotate from Spirit. Still, though, Coldy now is flashed off the angle, so will call for the rotate over. With 50 seconds, Ago still taking their sweet, sweet time.
Yeah, and they certainly don't have an abundance of time either, as they do need to get a move on eventually. Dima, he goes for the aggressive push there to get info. I like the idea, but the flash just clearly did not work. He ended up getting blinded. I believe a flash, it actually was from AGO that blinded him up, and that gives them access now to this B-bomb site. They're able to open it up, and it's looking like it will be a 3-on-4 retake for Spirit, as AGO may finally be able to get themselves another round onto the board, but still they have to try and get the bomb onto the site first. Groovy spamming through the smoke finds an important kill onto Sotfic. And I believe that probably should... Oh, there's a second one. Groovy, okay. Okay, Groovy. Okay, AGO. Okay. That's all I can say about that. That's Groovy, I don't even know. But that was really nice. Just knows his angles so well, and it's not often that you're actually able to guess 2 angles correctly through the smoke to get killed. So I like that by Groovy. Just a great round overall by AGO. No chance for Team Spirit after we mentioned they were just doing such a good job actually shutting this down.
Well, there we go. Those 2 kills really make sure there's no chance for Spirit. Grubby feeling on point with the spam through. And it will be Ago to finally put a gun round on the board. They also get to save 4 of their guns alongside the AWP. So that's really nice for Ago to make sure they don't instantly get down in the dumps in terms of their cash. You can see at least some money left behind. On the Spirit side of things, Davcost again will have the AWP. He's got an okay spawn, but he's not going to peek towards mid. Looks as though into this 10th round, we're not going to see either AWP go too aggressive to start off the round. Just going to be holding back. But Sophic, for a second there, I thought was going to push down mid. That would have been a huge risk. He decides it's not worth taking that gamble. Again, though, Ago, we haven't seen them really go for a fast play ever since that 4th round where they went straight up Banana, because that was so unsuccessful. Grubby decides to go for a bit of a quicker push, but he's all by himself, and so Davcost shuts him out to start this 10th round.
Yeah, great setup there by Spirit in the apartments. I really like that, having the up pushed up along with a rifle player up close to ensure that they are able to at least find a trade, and Davcost, really nice shot on the snatch. He takes him down as he creeps through the smoke, so looking good now for the CT side of Spirit, looking to try and reset the economy of AGO, and it's looking extremely likely as Tau also does get taken down. So Furlan and PHR now as the 2 players standing. They will at least try and make their way over towards the B-bomb site, pushing straight up through the smoke. They find the opening actually, PHR getting some damage done. But it clearly won't be enough as Dima instead closes it out with a quick double kill. And Spirit get themselves immediately another round onto the board, get up towards 6. And AGO, luckily enough, after surviving the previous round with 4 players alive, they will have some economy left over.
I think the question on most people's minds is, if Ago didn't win that pistol, what would this scoreline look like right now? Because they would be in a world of trouble. Getting that pistol round, though, might be enough to save them. They only really need a couple more rounds on their T side to feel like they are at least still in with a shot. And we are going to see them go for not quite a full-on force. This is a really strange buy, actually. I think it was only really Tau who fully invested, so maybe a bit of miscommunication, but who knows, maybe the AK can get the job done alongside the pistols. They're going to go in towards apartments, and Spirit willing to go for the 4A stack, as we have seen a couple of times already. This apartment setup is so strong as well. SDY alongside Soptic could just shut this out as Sumda Young sprays through the smoke. He nearly gets a second. It's 3! Sumda Young shuts them down completely. Yeah, that's not gone well. The spam from Sumda Young makes all the difference. What else is there to be said? Ago are they're just dead.
That was just perfect. They couldn't even get out of the balcony. He was blocking the smoke, and every time he felt something blocking off against himself or he heard a footstep, he just sprayed, and it clearly worked out quite well as he ended up with 3 kills at the end of the round. So nice round coming in by Spirit. AGO now, they are finally able to get the full buyout, but as mentioned, Tao, because of the investment in the previous round, he will not really be working with a rifle. Instead, all he has is a CZ, but a decent amount of utility. That is a bit of a positive that is going to be seen for AGO right now, but let's see what they're going to be able to get done going into this round. Will they just remain on one of those defaults where they've just been continuing to hold, or will they perhaps go for that aggressive push early on? And it's Davkos once again to face down middle and actually receive some damage. He's not able to get that shot connected this time.
Furlan might compete for the banana presence. Again, he's by himself, but the flash is so good. He gets that kill on towards Coldy, who is caught out on the boost. Again, I'd have preferred if Furlan had some support from a teammate behind him, but when the flash is that on point, it doesn't really matter. He still gets the opening they needed. And now Tao should be getting into position to try and recover that rifle. You'd assume he'd want to pick that up rather than the CZ, but Grubby takes down Davkos AWP. Now it looks like the B site is completely exposed. Dima is going to try to rotate back around. In the meantime, Tao has worked out towards A long, so Dima, the only player anywhere near. And as he goes down, Spirit's chances of the round is also effectively gone.
It definitely seems like at the moment the B-bomb site is a weakness for the defensive Spirit. They haven't really had too much success over towards the side of the map. Most of the time that they've been able to pick up rounds, it was that A defense getting most of the work done. So I'm not quite sure what's going wrong at the moment. I guess that aggressive push not really working out. We saw the brilliant pop flash coming in. AGO, of course, working well together to be able to actually find those opening kills, but it just doesn't really seem like they've been able to lock down Banana so far. I'd like to see them perhaps try 3 players maybe towards Banana early on. You can even put that up over there, get control of the bottom, and then you can risk a rotate and stack up that A bomb site. But for now, Spirit just looking to try and save these final 2 weapons. Forlan, he will be able to find 1 kill as it's now all onto Sumdai Young. He's just going to be holding towards the ramp, trying to carry over this AK, and he is currently being hunted by AGO, who are sending lots of players in his direction. So far, he's putting up a good fight. He's able to get himself a couple, and I think he should just about stay alive.
Yeah, I can understand Tao pushing there because for some reason he decided not to pick up one of the plenty of guns that were dropped. So only having a CZ, he may as well push. Heading into round 13 now. That does mean AGO don't have as much money left in the bank. But it shouldn't be a massive consideration for them, as they still have an AWP for Tao alongside full rifles. We're going to see Coldy chunked down to 18 HP. Not the start he would have been looking for. Furlan also takes some damage from a nade. And we are going to see Banana Presence go the way of AGO. And Spirit, you can see, maybe a little bit worried about that B site hold. As you were saying, it's been a little weak. Sophic has already rotated over to assist over at the B side of the map. But AGO's certainly not committed to going towards B as the nades go down. Tao is taken out. Really nice double nade setup to make sure that frag comes in. Spirit gets a man advantage without even seeing an opponent.
Yeah, I like that by Spirit, able to get that man advantage, and now they just revert back to a default setup on this B-bomb site. They put that player up on boost. Coldy working with low HP. His goal will just be to try and find at least 1 kill as the terrorists come in towards the B-bomb site, which it looks like they may be doing so. They are preparing and execute. They have the smokes. They have the Molotov also on Forlan, which will be used to, I believe, Molotov that quad box. But for now, Dima is actually playing back towards Dark, so it should be a pretty solid crossfire right now in position for Spirit. But let's see how many kills they're going to actually be able to get in as AGO now committing to the bomb site. Forlan, he's going to be looking to try and avenge his teammate, and he does eventually do so, and spamming through the smoke, he finds Davkos. PHR also able to spam in and finish off Coldy, who had been previously tagged up quite heavily. And out of nowhere, AGO are now working with a 1-man advantage with the bomb getting planted. Let's see what will be done now, as it's all onto Sumdai Young and Sotfik to get this retaken. It actually starts off quite well. Sumdai Young able to come up with a quick double kill. It leaves it all onto Groovy now with the bomb planted for this position at least, or rather not planted for this position. Actually planted in towards the orange boxes, so that could get dangerous, as both of these CTs, they do just look to regroup, look to stick together and ensure that the trade is found, and they do also have a defuse get and a smoke to work with. Grubby finds the first, and he somehow stays alive, hiding in behind the smoke, the bomb. It will be tapped, and Sotfik finds it eventually, and he should have plenty of time for the defuse.
Indeed he does. The round is won by Spirit. Looked a little bit dangerous out towards B, but at the end of the day, they did always, for the most part, have the man lead. So into round 14, AGO are the ones with likely only 1 or 2 rifles. Grubby should also get one. Actually, Tao decides he doesn't want the helmet. He goes for the AK instead. Probably a worthwhile gamble at this point, just to be able to try and get an opening. And we are going to see Davkost with the AWP in hand peek out towards mid. Again, the nades down Banana. This is what I was expecting to see more often from Spirit, because it's pretty easy to stop the early Banana aggression. And they will do that this time around with the deep smoke going down. That should allow Spirit to not be too worried about B. Seems as though Ago, though, are more focused towards A. However, they're not going for any quick aggression. They're holding on to the nades they have and just patiently waiting to see if they can find some sort of entrance.
Yeah, they will be just grouping up around the apartments in the second mid position for the moment. The bomb actually all the way back on ramp. Let's see where that eventually decides to go. That could give us a bit of a hint about where we may see AGO trying to actually end this round towards, but still no real movement to come in. Just about a minute remaining, and it looks like they may even try and regroup to reclaim control of Banana, as at the moment it's actually only Dima in this position, just holding quite passively overall, just peeking to try and get the info, and as soon as the flash comes in, that's going to force them to drop out as smoke, and there's very little utility left now for Team Spirit to use. That could be something that now AGO may be able to exploit. They are grouped up on Banana, of course, still with most of their players, as Davkost may be the first player to find contact. Tao looking tempted to peek this corner. It could be a mistake if we do see a nice shot being found, but the timing, it doesn't work at all in favour of Davkost. He gets taken down instead, and finally the action will be coming into play over towards this B-bomb site. Furlan is going to be the player who leads, and he won't be able to get anything done. Instead, it's Snatchy and Grubby to step it up. They're able to find a kill each, one with the Molotov, one with the rifle. And then a bomb getting planted on B means that Young and Sotvik likely just going to be saving already, going straight into the T-spawn. Yeah, straight into the T-spawn, just looking to try and carry these weapons over. So hiding in plain sight, I guess, hiding where the terrorists themselves came from, hoping that they won't be found. And having a look at their economy now on the CT side, they may be able to just about scrape a bye together in this final round. A pretty decent one, I mean, in that case, because enough, I believe, there is going to be enough economy for Young to drop over an M4. Davkost can get the op for himself, and I believe the other players will probably perhaps be working with SMGs or maybe a pistol.
Yeah, and again, it's Ago managing to control the round thanks to going towards the B site. They also had the 2 Molotovs really well timed there. They put them both up at the same time, one in towards Dark and one in towards Triple Box. And that's exactly where both Spirit players were playing from. So it made it so much easier to take control of the site. And even if no one runs out after you deploy that Molotov, it still gives you information that they're not in those 2 positions and you can look elsewhere. So I think that's something that is maybe a little underused by some teams. Those Molotovs, they're simple but effective. And it works for Ago this time around as they get the 2 kills they needed towards B. So heading into round 15, they've already got 6 rounds, which all things considered is already a decent enough T side. I'm sure they would like to get the 7th on the board just to make it a little bit better. Considering the position they were in previously, though, they will be fairly happy with this, especially as Grubby gets that first pick. SDY decides to fall back. He did pick up the AWP. That was spotted out by Ago. So they are aware for the time being that there is currently an AWP on the A side of the map. And that means they're just not going to go for too much of a push. But the boost for Coldy nearly gets himself a kill, but he's forced to fall back. Dima's going to stick around. Now he decides to play it safe. So Spirits again have to hold from the B site, which hasn't been too successful so far, as we have been saying. And Ago might look to exploit that B site again.
Yeah, and the problem right now for Team Spirit is they don't really have the opportunity to actually go for an aggressive play to find out where these terrorists are, so they're just going to be stuck going for a very standard 2-2 and 2-for-2 setup rather, 2 on the B bomb site, 2 on the A bomb site. And with 5 terrorists right now coming in towards B, this is going to be a very difficult hold, as it is going to be the first kill going in favour of Furlan. Coldy is going to try to return it, as he does only find 1. A lot of damage done on the both Snatchy and PHR, but it just wasn't enough to get either kill, as now it's going to be all on to Young. Sotvik, I was going to say, also there to assist, but pushing through the smoke, he will be taken down. Young in a 1-on-4, as he does have the opt as a player playing up close. They should be able to find this kill. And there you have AGO, after being in a position where we were saying the scoreline, it should be even better for Team Spirit with AGO actually winning the pistol. They actually managed to bring it back and get themselves what is considered a pretty good half on the T side of Inferno. They should be happy with that.
Yeah, I think this sets up Ago really quite well, especially considering this isn't their map pick. If they can make this competitive or even steal it away, even if it's a tight game, then that's exactly what Ago are looking for. I don't think they necessarily care about the performance all that much. They're mainly just looking to get the map win, because Inferno isn't necessarily a map that they would have been expecting to win here. I mean, they know that they can win it, but they're much more focused on the last two. So the fact that this is coming so close certainly is a good sign for them. And heading into this round, Spirits with 2 sets of nades. I'm interested to see what they have in mind here. It looks like they're going in towards Banana, and those HEs could do damage. The first one takes Furlan down to 55 HP, but the second nade yet to be deployed. In the meantime, Grubby taking fights and taking faces. He only gets the 1 headshot, but it is the initial kill. The second nade does come in a little late. I really would have liked those 2 nades to be placed together, because then it probably would have been a 3 kill, but not meant to be for Spirit as they lose the first pick.
Yeah, I think the problem was Davkos just didn't really actually have a spawn to get there in time before the CTs begun to face. So he was kind of really denied the chance to do so. Didn't want to pull that out while there was actually an active gun battle going on. So yeah, it would have been perfect. It would have taken them down, and that would have put the round in favor of Team Spirit. But right now it's actually AGO to have the 1-man advantage instead. And let's see where Team Spirit do eventually decide to bring this. They still have both of those utility players alive, so they have a smoke. Or rather, it has been retrieved off of Sotvik's body, and also Davkos with a smoke and a flash. So it looks like the B-bomb site is going to be their target, and at the moment it's only 1 player to try and hold this down. That's Tau. Actually, no, he does have a second player, and Furlan back towards quad box actually did not spot him out somehow. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. Tau is the first player to try and find the contact. He has the defuse kit, no Kevlar to work with, but here we go. Spirit, Dima leading the charge as he does get taken down by Furlan. He was looking to try and open it up, but Furlan is doing all the work so far. 2 more headshots to be found as it's all onto Coldy and Davkos, and a lot of damage being done through the smoke there. Doesn't really give them much of a chance to bring themselves back into this round.
Yeah, and it's Davkos even without Kevlar, so that makes things even more difficult. And we already see Ago nail the 2 headshots necessary to win the pistol. Winning both pistol rounds makes a really, really big difference in any map. Ago now looking good to take the lead. Spirit, though, remember, got the plant, so they should just eco here, and this is where Ago should gain the round lead, but they will certainly look to compete as soon as possible into round 18. And you can see Ago going for 3 rifles, 4 rifles even, so they don't necessarily have the utility to stop down a quick push. Maybe if Spirit can catch a player off guard and pick up a rifle, there's something to be done here. Especially as there's only 2 players on the A side of the map. So maybe some sort of hope for Spirit. They're going to have to get lucky. And already you can see Dima not getting lucky. Grubby takes his head off to start the round, and it might be a second. Indeed, it is. Spirit just pushing out 1 by 1 and getting picked apart here. I wanted them to go for a push together, but that doesn't happen as the kills continue to come in. Only SDY left.
Yeah, just going straight for the rifles. They wanted to play it safe, and sure that coming into the first gun round, they will have the rifles to work with, because knowing that the plant came out by Spirit, they were aware that it would most likely be a full eco, mostly just default pistols. So I guess they were happy enough with just ensuring that coming into this round now, once they are up against the AKs, that they don't have to waste money like re-upgrading after buying the SMGs in the previous. So they play as safe as possible. Tau, of course, does still have that MP9 where he could potentially try and take that a bit more aggressive to fight the opening. If not, they could just hang back, of course, with those rifles. They can just try and lock down the bomb sites, and there's not really too much utility available for Team Spirit currently, which also should be known to AGO.
Yeah, only a couple of smokes and flashbangs for Spirit to utilize, as you were saying. So that's going to make this round a little more difficult. They are up against the 1 MP9, which was also pointed out, but Tau has pushed down Banana with that, so he is playing close. And he's also playing in a fairly advanced position to gain information if it were to be a B play. In the meantime, Spirit are just kind of holding across the map, maybe hoping that Ago make a mistake and try and push with one of these SMGs that they are likely to have. You can see Tau not going to overextend. He is aware his team have full rifles and that he doesn't need to make the play for them. So it's good to see Tau deciding to fall back. I think that's probably the right decision to allow the players with the rifles to do the heavy lifting. Spirit still not really going for anything. They're not gaining too much ground except for in towards apartments.
Yeah, and this is actually the play that I was talking about that Spirit could have went for. They could have got that control, left 1 player posted up and take a gamble with 4 players over towards A, but it seems like as the smoke begun to fade, they instead actually have decided to send that second player back over to B and instead just go into a fairly passive setup. So now over towards A, the terrorists rather, they have been able to take this mid control quite easily, but noise actually being made there. I believe they were trying to be quiet. The bomb dropped on the ground will give at least a bit of info towards AGO to work with. But here we go, the wrap coming in. Nice spot by PHR to try and shut down the long push. Will spot out the first player, wins out that battle also, and now he just looks to try and stay alive as his teammates are going to be taking the battles. Coldie finds one, as does Sumdai Young, and it's players over on the Spirit side really stepping up when it's needed. Coldie especially with 2 great headshots. So the bomb going down. AGO now with only 2 players remaining, and let's see what they're going to be able to get done. We do see Tau coming in from long with that MP9. Needs to be cautious of the flank, but it is going to be Coldie to find one more kill to deny Furlan from even having a chance to save that rifle if he had wanted to do so.
Well, back to an even scoreline. Spirit do get that round win on the A play. And A go in a little bit of an awkward position where they could go for the buy, but I think this is probably the correct call, just to go for pistols in this round. Make sure you get a full buy together because you have the rounds to be able to do so. You can afford to lose one here and still be in okay shape. And as well, the pistols can certainly still do damage. If, for example, Spirit push in towards apartments, that's something that you could try and catch out, or even playing close towards Banana. So I still think the pistols can do enough damage on Inferno to make it worthwhile. And you can already see Ago waiting patiently in towards Apps. Doesn't look like SDY is going to go for the peak, but Grubby manages to get that kill there. Coldie baiting his teammate a little bit. Was hoping to get the kill before that would come in, but there we go. Coldie does make up for it with a second frag. Still back to a 3v3 though, as those pistols, as I was saying, do a bit of damage.
Ooh, yeah, and it's getting better now. Snatchy with a great headshot onto Coldie will be able to retrieve himself an AK-47, and Demet and Davkos now are left in the 2-on-3, and it looks like they have at least made the correct decision. They will be heading towards the bomb site where there's only a P250 and 20 HP for Furlan to work with. Doesn't even have Kevlar nor utility, so we should at least see the B bomb site being taken over, and that's when it's going to get really difficult for AGO to bring it back. So I would still favour Team Spirit right now. But of course, Davkos, he is going to be leading the way, just creeping in towards this bomb site. No noise has been made yet, so Tau himself, he's going to be walking in, and he could be really caught off guard as it is posted up on the CT spawn, but he remains alive somehow. Not going to work out. So Furlan from the back of sight, let's see what he's going to be able to get done. He finds the first kill, takes down Davkos, and now it's all onto Demet. 1-on-3. He knows the positions of at least 2 of these players as he gets the first, looks to try and chase down the player on quad. But Snatchy now coming in from Banana is in position to try and get this trade frag, but he waits just a bit too long. That allows Demet to actually get that kill, but it doesn't matter as he goes for the bomb plant. Snatchy, of course, is there to peek out and deny it. So AGO pulling off an upset with the pistols and getting themselves up to a 10th round. As Spirit, their economy has been resetting, as we can see now. They're averaging just about $3,000 onto every player.
Yeah, quite good to see Snatchy sort of play his own game there and realize that he doesn't need to try and swing outright for the trade. He probably would have got the kill if he did peek and try and trade off of his teammate, but he realizes he can just afford to take his time. He doesn't want to risk some sort of crazy shot coming in, and as soon as he hears the bomb plant, that B site is so open that it's pretty easy to pinpoint where the opponent is. So Ago are the first team to double digits. And they should be the first team to 11 rounds as well, because Spirits, again, only have pistols. A little bit of damage done onto Snatchy, surprisingly enough. And PHR nearly caught off guard into Apps. If he went down there, that would have been the rifle lost. So you could see, PHR realized there's no need to take that fight. There's no need to risk losing a rifle. So instead, he falls back. A little bit of damage done for Spirits, but smart play by Ago to just fall back and play it as passively as possible and not risk giving up any guns.
Yeah, that was really well played. Getting that info also, of course, it was risky, but that allowed them then to just use that utility on balcony and really slow down the push. So for the moment, Spirit, they do have control of apartments. They will be regrouping up with the 2 players that were also originally at Banana now as they prepared to try and make their way out, maiden up through short, or perhaps could even try and wrap through long, as we see Sotvik at the moment going to be kind of favouring towards this position. Smoke goes down, and I don't think they're actually going to go that direction. Perhaps just trying to be a thorn in the side, put it in the minds of AGO that they could be wrapping onto the bomb site and have a few more angles that they may be focused on, but it seems like so far the kills all going in favour of Team Spirit. Sotvik able to find himself too, as is Sumdai Young, but Furlan, he's able to bring that back into a 1-on-1 now as he eventually falls, leaving Tau. All he has to do is take down Sumdai Young, who currently has 7 HP. The bomb goes down, Molotov onto the bomb site, may burn him alive. He's on 1 single point of HP. Sumdai Young now on the bomb site, his position is known, and to win this, he's going to have to hit one of the most amazing shots we've ever seen, and Tau, he will close it out as expected, but that was a very hectic round. The pistol's doing so much damage. Thanks to Furlan and Tau, though, the round will still go in favour of the Polish side.
I think we had a bit of everything that round. I think there was a team kill in the mix from SDY. It was all incredibly complicated. and very hectic on that A site. But Ago just about hold on for the round win. At the end of the day, that's the main thing they were looking for, but it might impact their buy into this very round. Furlan's not going to get any nades because of that. There's no AWP to be seen, even though Snatchy could have decided to buy one. He goes against it. So it does actually make Ago's buy a little bit weaker. Nice job by Spirit to be able to do that. And they have the AWP in the hands of Davkos. That could make the difference. Although it is sometimes a little awkward to AWP on the T side of Inferno, as Furlan needed that kill. It was such a good flashbang. And yet he just whiffs the shot. He wasn't confident to fully commit to the peak because he didn't know if there was a player not blinded round the corner. So as soon as he misses a couple of shots, he decides to fall back. Unfortunately for Ago, that means the chance to get the pick is gone. You can certainly understand Furlan's thought process, though. If there are players on Banana, there's likely to be multiple of them, and you don't know if they're all blind. So certainly understandable, but a little bit of a shame he doesn't get that initial kill.
Yeah, but they have actually been able to continue on with having control of this position, at least for the moment. As we can see right now, some utility being thrown out towards middle, as it looks like they will perhaps just try and take control of mid. Then they have the option to maybe wrap onto B, even go toward the A-bomb site, or just maybe I'll back off and group up and hit one of the bomb sites together. But for now, it looks like the CTs themselves are looking to try and get an aggressive stance on Banana. We see Tao is pushed up extremely aggressively, and the bomb at the moment is going to be itself getting prepared in towards Banana, as it looks like the B-bomb site could be the final destination for Team Spirit currently. As now Dima, he'll be the player that's in the lead. He will be the first one looking to try and go in, and Tao behind the wooden plank, he peeks, he gets spotted out and spammed down. That's the problem, you can't really use that as cover. But Furlan, of course, he is still prepared to hold this down. He gets himself two, may find the triple as he does the damage and eventually closes it out onto Davkos. And that should be the round now in favour of AGO, as they do indeed get themselves a 12th and increase that lead up to 3 rounds.
And that prompts the pause from Spirit, and with good reason, because that round is pretty poor for their chances. Just in terms of not having the best of money, but also really, Ago won that round quite confidently, all thanks to Furlan. He's been having a pretty good performance so far today. It's actually Grubby who's been top fragging. And to be honest, the frags don't look massively impressive on the Ago side. I think part of that is because Spirit, quite a few of these rounds have been taking them close, but not really close enough, all things considered. It will now be Spirit who discuss what they want to buy. Probably just going to have to be pistols here. I think you can afford to let Ago have a 13th round. It's not too terrible. And if you go for the pistols, there's still a chance for you to do damage, as was proven in that recent round on the A site where they got 4 kills out of the round. So they've shown a sort of potential with the pistols in the past, and I think it's not a terrible idea. I mean, I guess the one consideration is that Ago's money is weak. I don't think you can go for a buy when you can't get really a single rifle with head armor.
Well, they could go for they could go for the buy where you decide to drop the AKs. We could see Coldy drop over an AK, get a pistol in return, and we could see Sotvik perhaps also. He could buy himself an AK body armor, as could Sumdai Young. And then Dima also has enough to drop an AK over to Davkos. So that's something they could do. They could manage to just about scrape out 3 or 4 rifles, but having 2 players then also without Kevlar only working with pistols is, I don't know if it's so worth it. You could just perhaps go for this eco, allow AGO to get up to 13 and just hope that in this round they're at least able to cause some damage. So once they do get the guns out, they can perhaps try and break the economy to kind of narrow that gap a little bit further before they do have to face off against the full buy again.
Yeah, I think this is probably the quote-unquote correct decision, just because you do want to get another gun round on the board. And as we were saying, there's certainly damage to be done with these pistols, maybe even a round win if they're lucky. But that will probably rely on the fact that Ago would have to make a mistake. Speaking of Ago, they've put 4 players on A straight at the start of the round. That's really surprising against the pistols, because you would expect some proportion of the time these pistols to just rush down Banana. If that were to have happened, then Furlan would have had a lot to do, not even with an AWP on the B site. It looks like the read is correct. Spirit had previous success towards A. They look to come back towards this A site with the pistols, but it's not looking good for them. They're going to have to push straight forwards. 4 players here. Snatchy, the first line of defense, misses with the AWP, but Grubby is there to back him up. SDY, though, gets the trade, so not terrible, but Grubby is still locking down the site alongside Snatchy. The kill's coming in, but there goes Tao, cleaning it up. And the 4A stack is a good read from the poles.
Yeah, really nice gamble there coming in by AGO, and actually Furlan alone on that B-bomb side, I think that was actually a pretty decent setup because he did have a Molotov, he had plenty of utility to work with, and he was, as we could see, playing extremely passive, so his main goal was to just maybe take one kill and then remain alive to allow them to have an easy chance at the retake. But yeah, going on to this next round now, early on, not a great start as Dima actually gets knifed down by Sumdai Young to 70 HP. That allows him to be now one-shotted by the M4 to the head, but it may not matter too much. Davcost is able to find the aggressive push from Snatchy, and winning out that off duel now will put the advantage in favour of Team Spirit.
Again, SDY into apps going for that spam. He's been going for that quite consistently, but never really connecting. Either way, it's Davcost who got that opening pick, and he lands that shot through the wall. Doesn't do that much damage, but Tau is down to 70 HP because of that. And there you go now, just playing with 2 towards A and 2 towards B. Feels like they might have to make a play at this point, or just rotate and gamble to stack towards a site, because holding with 2 players on each bomb site, and with the rotations being quite long, it's not going to be easy to win this round. Even if Furlan is pushed down Banana, it's still quite a long rotation out towards A. So I wouldn't mind Ago taking a risk here. PHR has done just that. He goes somewhat aggressive for that kill in reply. Back to a 4v4 with 40 seconds left, and Spirit still no closer to a site.
Well, they have now been able to at least gain some control over towards A, and that's actually a really nice shot by Davcost. I believe he tagged up Tau in that position, brought him down low HP, but the aggressive push from Furlan, he's able to get a lot of info. He's able to spot out 2 players making their way back towards A and even take a kill in the process, so gives PHR some time now to prepare to actually shut this bomb site down. But Groovy in the pit, he receives a lot of damage from the nade, and he will be taken down by Dima with the AK, and it's not looking good right now for AGO as the A bomb site has been overwhelmed. Sumdai Young on that flank was the player to actually take down the final player attempting to defend, and Tau now being the last man alive with very low HP is just probably going to be looking to try and save this rifle. The economy for AGO right now, it's not amazing, but if they save this weapon, I think they will be buying into the following round.
Yeah, they might just have to go for it, even if it won't be a full buy. Looks like he will almost certainly get to save the AWP, especially as... Oh, sorry, save the AK, but especially with Spirit still having their money on the brink of being broken, feels like it's almost a requirement for Ago to go for the Force, and we're going to see Spirit call for the timeouts, but it's because they are having some issues with their TeamSpeak, so it's not a tactical timeout after winning the round. Taking a quick glance at the money, though, Ago can certainly get themselves 3 or 4 rifles even with that one that was saved, so should certainly be a buy. On the Spirit side of things, their money not looking too bad. We're just going to have to wait to see how this 24th round plays out. We've seen Davcost go for the AWP a few times. He's not really found too much success, but he did get that one pick previously on towards Snatchy, so hasn't really been needed to get too many entries just yet. But as I was saying, it is a little bit awkward sometimes to AWP on the T side of Inferno. Sometimes it can be quite difficult when you actually go for the push to find success with that. So that's still yet to be seen, whether Davcost is required on one of these upcoming pushes, because for the most part, he's not really done that much with the AWP yet.
Yeah, on the T side of Inferno, I'd say it's one of the few maps where you don't really need an up at all. You can be just as successful, if not more successful, when you have the 5 AKs instead. So it's just because so many choke points, the smokes can really just kind of deny the upper from getting anything done early around. And with so many up-close positions, when they do have to get forced to push towards the bomb site, it can just be really difficult with that up to actually clear all those close angles. But yeah, for now, a bit of a pause, actually, I'd say, for AGO. Gives them some time to talk over what they want to do in this round. And so far, it looks like they will be going for the eco, even with Grubby on a position where he's going to be double eco, having enough to buy onto 3 players. It looks like they're just playing for the long run, which I do like. Perhaps is the correct decision. As you said earlier, though, of course, that correct should be put in quotes, because there's no real correct decision in CS. It's all about risk and reward. But yeah, it is going to be just a couple of pistols been invested into, it seems, at least on the Tau for the most part.
It looks like Spirit are ready to get back underway, so it's just Ago we are waiting on, and there we go. They are both ready to get back into things, and it looks like Ago not going to go for the Force. Not yet, at least. No, they're just going to go for the pistols here. That's interesting. They want to get a full buy as soon as possible. I mean, I guess they have the 1 AK, they have some pistols, and they also have a decent lead built up, so they can afford to give away around. It's just the fact that if they'd have forced and won, that could have just won them the map straight up. So a little bit surprising to see them go for the save into this round. But if they feel confident in their gun rounds, you can certainly understand why they would make this decision.
Yeah, that's what I was focusing on when I was saying that, because they have been having most of their success on the gun rounds. I don't really think they've won too many ecos, or yeah, too many ecos I don't think they have. So perhaps just try and play it as safe as possible. Sumdai Young actually does get taken down there by Groovy, so a great opening into this round, as it's a player from AGO who didn't really invest anything at all into this round that actually is able to open it up. And of course, Tao having that AK to work with also is a positive. But there we go, Davkos with a really nice nade. He returns the favour by taking down Groovy, and now it's going to be once again Team Spirit with the advantage, and it looks like it may be increased even further. Davkos, he may be able to find this peak by PHR, and he does indeed by taking down one more now. The A-bomb site's defence has been extremely weakened, as it's all on to Snatchy now in towards the apartments.
The rotate has now come in, so Furlan gets to the site in time to assist. With Snatchy being up into apps, there's no real playability with each other. You can see Furlan stuck on the site, does get the dink, but not the kill. A little bit disappointing, but the round was really already lost before that point. And Tao will just have to try and hold onto the AK. So we'll get to see what the buy looks like for Ago. Again, we should see an AWP for Snatchy, but we've already seen Davkos take him down once when those two AWPers fought previously. And Davkos did land a couple of decent shots in this round as well, so he's starting to finally find some form on the T side. In the meantime, Tao should hold on to the AK. It doesn't look like they're hunting him too hard, except for Sotfik. Davkos will just save the AWP in towards the pit. No risk of going down. Tao is over towards B. There goes the flash, and ooh, Tao is going to get the headshot. So the AWP, oh sorry, AK, I keep saying AWP for some reason. The AK will be saved. It should be a pretty good buy for the Poles.
Yeah, that save there is actually pretty good for the CT side, because it was actually Groovy who was a bit weak on economy. I believe he had about $3,400 at the start of this round, so that allows him now to get a full buy rather than going for the UMP. He's able to have an AK full utility also to work with, and also, interestingly enough, a double op setup going to be coming out for AGO as both Snatchy and Furlan decide to pick up those big green guns. And let's see what's going to happen now early on into this round, as it looks like the T side will be focusing on just trying to take the map control. 3 players focused on Banana, 2 players making their way up towards apartments, and look at this, and really aggressive push early on by Team Spirit, just looking to try and take control of all of Banana and force the CTs to be just stuck back in the bomb site and allow themselves perhaps to later on set up and execute. And with a lot of utility left, that's looking like it may be a possibility. But for now, AGO, let's see what they decide to do to actually counteract this, because they're just, at the moment, they're going to be working with basically no info, as they have no map control.
We've seen quite a few slow rounds from Spirits. It looks like that is going to continue in this one. As you were saying, Ego playing really quite passively across the board. Maybe that's just a reaction to this being such an important round. No one really wanting to risk making a mistake. You can see there, that smoke is a bit of a mistake. Davkos has a fairly big gap to play with over towards B. Doesn't look like Furlan or Tao are going to be in danger because of it, though. With 40 seconds left, still almost no damage done. The boost is coming in over the smoke. You can see the bomb looks more likely to go over towards A. And Ago still have 3 players fairly heavily committed to the A site, so I don't think they're going to be rotating off. 25 seconds, the fake is coming out towards B. It's Dima trying to sell this one, and that kill may just do it. In the meantime, though, they've spotted the bomb out towards A, and PHR is going to get the frag. SDY so low on health that PHR can just body him out of the round, and it's a third. PHR shuts down the site, and Dima is just not close enough. He gets the kill, but PHR can just run for the hills and win the round.
Yeah, nice round by PHR there, locking down that A-bomb site, denying the plant from coming in, because that could have been dangerous if he fell, as we saw then Dima sick. Dima, yeah, as he was coming in from mid, he was actually able to take down 1 player, so if it had been that first fight going in favour of the terrorist on the bomb site, it would have been the round going for Spirit. So it's just that those final fights that did decide it. But yeah, of course, now AGO getting themselves up to 14. Spirit, luckily enough, they can still invest fully into this one. The only real player who's working with a weaker buy than they'd like perhaps is that Mach 10 into the hands of Sumdai Young. But even then, that does have its positives. It has the maneuverability. There is 3 players without head armor on the AGO side, so damage could still be done, of course. And there's a nice nade actually by Furlan. It was a nice little setup nade thrown towards the skybox to bounce down, and it does 56 points of damage on the Sotfik.
Meaty. Very meaty grenade. That's how you used to throw quite a few of the Molotovs towards B as well. You just jump throw them off of the roof. You don't see that too often nowadays, but still certainly an option. And that is proven by that nade doing so much damage. Either way, Ago taking a slight gamble as they lean Grubby over towards the B bomb site. With Spirit having played so slowly, though, I don't think that's a massive risk. I don't really think Spirit have shown a propensity to go for a quick A play. And that will not be the case again, as we see Davkost hoping to get lucky. But now Spirit might work out around A. 48 seconds left. Starting to finally go and gain some ground. Davkost still trying to get the wallbangs going. Not going to happen. And again, the time runs down. 40 seconds. Spirit are going to group up around A. But Grubby has rotated back before the push.
Yeah, Spirit seeming like they're perhaps taking a strata of Navi's playbook so far throughout this map, but now 25 seconds remaining. They have to get a move on. Once again, it could be a situation where AGO, if they're just able to waste enough time, there may not even be time for the bomb plant. But of course, now still 16 seconds remaining. The wrap onto the bomb site is going to complicate things just a little bit further, as PHR once again from Pit will have to try and support his teammates, but it doesn't work out, as it's Sunday Young to find himself a double. PHR steps it up though, but it will be eventually Coldy to trade that out and gain the man advantage for Team Spirit to work with. As now AGO in a 2-on-3 retake without a lot of money left over in the bank. Will they decide to go for it? Or will they even be allowed to do so, as right now Furlan, he'll be making his way in from mid. He has regrouped with his teammate, done a lot of damage there onto the player peeking from Boiler. Coldy needs to be cautious here. If he falls, it perhaps gives an opening, and he will eventually be taken down. But I think the time already beginning to tick just a little bit too fast. So unless a kill is found almost instantly, I think this will be a save by AGO.
Yeah, if they did go for it, there may have been a chance with both players being stuck on the site. That would have been a quite awkward hold for Spirit, especially with one of them having the AWP. The SDY is going to get the exit kill, and Spirit are going to claim another round. This is exactly how Inferno played out when these two teams met each other in the past. It was a very, very tight affair, and eventually it was 2 overtimes that separated these two teams. And that certainly could be an option again here, because it's looking more than likely we will go back to a 14-13 scoreline, unless Furlan can be an absolute hero, which I'm not expecting. He's currently going to be with his team on the A site, which is somewhat surprising. In fact, Furlan's in towards apartments with the AK, which I was not expecting to see, and he's going to go aggressive. Now decides to go a little bit further back. This is where you'd expect a pistol to place, so I'm somewhat surprised to see Furlan there with the AK. This PHR who goes down first, and as the kills come in, I think it's very likely Spirit will claim this round.
Yeah, looking very likely indeed. Furlan, of course, does still have an AK, so perhaps something could be done. But while I have a chance, I am just going to go ahead and quickly tell everyone to go ahead and check out Farmskins. They are, of course, the person who, rather, the company that's behind powering this action that's currently being brought to you. So head on over to farmskins.com. They claim that they give better drops than Gaben, and I wonder if that is correct. So give it a go. Can't really be worse than Gaben anyway. All I ever get is blues, but now it will actually be the T is grouping up, looking to try and finally go towards the bomb site. And interestingly enough, AGO, they've made a gamble, and it seems to be the correct decision. But with Snatchy getting taken down, it gets a lot more complicated, as it's all onto Furlan. 1 kill will be found at least, but that's going to be it, as instantly traded up by Davkost. The Spirit, 1 round now in the difference, as AGO still don't really have a great economy. I don't know if they're going to be able to buy into this one.
Yeah, you wish you just had maybe $500 extra. I guess we all wish that, really, don't we? I wish I had $500 extra. That would be nice.
I'd like $500 in general.
Just $500 total, I would like. It's a tough student life. Either way, it is going to be Ago waiting for that $500. They are patient. They're going to wait for their investments to come in and get some extra cash. I guess it's probably the government that gives them money, huh? I mean, they are counter-terrorists. That would make sense.
Who's funding the terrorists, though? That's the real question.
Ooh, this could go a number of ways. Let's not get into this.
It's a long con, rather. It's actually the commander of the counter-terrorists that's funding the terrorists in order to bring us this amazing action. So it's confirmed. Farmskins, they control both teams. They're bringing us the action, so...
Yeah, what if the counter-terrorists fund the terrorists so the counter-terrorists can get more money, and then they pocket the money?
Oh, yeah, imagine if... Okay, here's a wild theory. The loss bonus doesn't start at 1,400, it actually starts at 1,900. So for everyone, they're getting themselves an extra $500 in their pocket, and that's going into their retirement funds. That's going towards all the nice cars. But yeah, it is an eco, of course, by AGO, so you're not really missing too much action while we're talking about completely nonsensical stuff. But I was going to say perhaps a chance for Grubby to find a kill. He brings Dima down to 15, but he will be instantly returned. And as expected, it is the Rifle's been able to win out all these battles so far. PHR on the bomb site with a Deagle. Yet to find anything, and he won't be able to find anything as he does get taken down by Sotvik. So now a 5-on-1 as Davkos through the smoke is able to spot out the legs of Tau.
Only Furlan left. If he can get even one kill here, I'll be at least somewhat impressed. I mean, to be fair, Spirit might just run into him because they want to get this over with as quickly as possible. This round is done. They should just save. They should just stick together and not risk giving the gun away. And it looks like they will. Although Dima might die to the bomb if he's not careful. I think he should be far enough away. Davkos is in towards Pit. Furlan might try and just land a tag on towards him as Davkos misses the shot. He's down to 87 HP. I think that's enough to live. Yeah, okay. No, the bomb was planted far away, so it wasn't even close. That made me look silly. He survives on 75 HP. But here we go. Again, another map is going to go to round 30, guaranteed. And as Ago have the bye again, this is the round we have all been waiting for. Bye for both sides. And the most important round of this game so far. Here we go.
Yep, Snatchy finally going to be getting the op back out also, which is something that he has been lacking, I believe, for the last couple of gun rounds. So let's see if that'll be the change that AGO requires now to try and shut down this comeback from Team Spirit, who for the past 5 or so rounds, they've just been looking like the much better side. They've been able to just completely roll over their opponents. Of course, a few of those rounds have been just where they faced off against pistols. But once again, let's see if they're going to be successful in finding it during the gun round, as for the moment it seems like they will be grouping up over towards A, looking to try and get control of middle, as they have 4 players on this side of the map and just 1 player left holding the banana position extremely passively. And on the other hand, AGO themselves not really looking for any control. They sit back in the bomb site itself. Crossfire between the second oranges and dark position, but for now it looks like it will instead be the A bomb site defense that will be tested.
Does look to be the case, and with Snatchy holding with the AWP in towards balcony, I was going to say that could be a tough test for him, but he decides to go a little bit further away, which is what you would expect. 40 seconds left. Dima is still towards banana, and Spirit having second thoughts here. They have thrown a couple of nades out towards A. Now they're going to try and go back towards B. Might work for them if these nades are well placed, because there's still 2 players holding the site. So 24 seconds left. Let's see how quick this rotation is from Ago, because SDY might cut that off. 18 seconds. Here comes the push. They're going to try and claim B, but Furlan gets that first kill. Now they know where he is, but they still can't take him down. There's Sundar Young to cut off the rotate, but the kills come in. Tau shuts down the bomb, and there is no time for the plant. The action towards the B site was the most important part, and Tau makes all the difference. Those 2 kills winning the round alone. And now it's Ago who have the chance to close it out in overtime. In regulation is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Before overtime. There you go.
But yeah, that's, I believe, the second time now that Spirit have failed to get the bomb down and lost the round because of it. So those slow rounds, they either work extremely well or they completely backfire, and we can see that was the case there on the B bomb site. Even with being able to mostly take the trades successfully in their favour, just that 1 kill, knowing the time was so low, the CT who pushed forward, he was able to drop that bomb plant and just no time to get down. But in this one, it's going to be Spirit to find the opening kill. Will look to try and get aggressive. Doesn't work out in his favour, as he instead gets clotheslined by the AK-47 bullet. And for now, it will be Team Spirit with a 1-man advantage and being able to take control of that banana position quite easily.
Doesn't mean they're going to go for a push with it, though, because Spirits love a good slow round. And they are going to try and go for another slow round here. Davkos was hoping to get an opening with the AWP being boosted up. That doesn't quite happen. And again, Ago left in a position where it always feels like when you're holding with 2 towards A and 2 towards B, you almost feel like you have to make a play, because the rotates between the sites are just so long on a map like Inferno. So we'll see if they try and make a play, because it's not happening just yet. They are still just holding back. Well, you can see the A players looking to get some information early, so they can maybe call for a quicker rotate over. Actually is holding with the AWP there. He might get a kill, but he's blinded up. Oh no, SDY gets the entry. And you can see that rotate is going to take so much time. SDY gets a second entry. That might just bring us to overtime.
Yeah, it's certainly looking almost not if not just likely, it's looking extremely likely right now, as it's only Furlan and PHR that remain, and of course they have no option to save. They do have to go for it. There's no point staying alive at this point, as it is the final round of regulation, and PHR actually does manage to successfully find that first kill. He's able to take down Dima. Furlan also spamming through the smoke wildly, takes down Sundai Young, but the HP not looking amazing, and there we go. Furlan finds himself another 1-on-2 now, as he is the last man standing. The HP heavily in favour of Team Spirit, as is the time working against Furlan at the moment, as he is just running out of time completely. That is going to be the round in favour of Team Spirit. We will be heading into overtime, and Furlan maybe be able to take another kill in the process, but no, he will be denied 15-15. And as was mentioned, we do head to all 30, and it looks like we will continue, as we will have another couple of rounds coming up now once the overtime goes live.
Yeah, overtime will be about to come in. First team to 19 rounds will get the win. And this is exactly how Inferno played out. Again, I keep saying it, but when these two teams played each other in the past in this very tournament, it was Ago who just about closed it out in double overtime on Inferno. Now we're hoping that they can follow that up, and they'll be hoping that history repeats itself here. You can see with 16k starting money, they can go for the double AWPs, and they will go for the double AWPs. Snatchy and Furlan both picking those up. Here we go, heading into overtime. Only 2 players towards Banana to start the round. Could be a little risky, but up against Spirit shouldn't be a massive consideration, because Spirit have been incredibly slow on their T side so far.
Yeah, as it seems like they will continue to be extremely slow. No adaptation right now in overtime. They're not trying to make any adjustments. They're just going to continue on with what seemed to work in the regulation time quite well, as they do once again just slowly, methodically take control of the map. A couple players in towards apartments, looking to just try and spam out those walls, which are basically paper tin in this new rendition of the map. So it can be quite successful at finding at least damage, if not opening kills. But for now, that won't be happening. Dima, he needs to be cautious of the op that's boosted up, and he spots at the head of Furlan. Drops Furlan and puts that man advantage in favour of Team Spirit, as now over towards that B-bomb site. Sole defender will be actually forced to fall back off and play this much more passively.
And with 55 seconds left, it will be Spirit who have a little bit of time to slow things down, although it is also, of course, on them to make the push happen. 3 players holding towards A. Snatchy with the AWP might be able to make the difference. They were willing to take this risk because Tao is alone on B with the AWP. As he plays in towards this position, he can fall back quite quickly if he gets 1 kill. You can see Spirit are going to go back towards Banana with the bomb. This is going to be a lot to ask for Tao. With the AWP, he's going to need to get at least 1 kill, maybe even 2. Push comes in, Tao does get the initial frag. The AWP, though, has to go off of the angle, so you can see Spirit will be able to gain ground. The incendiary does come in, but Tao gets spammed down, and the bomb plant should be coming in. You can see Dima just making sure of that by locking down CT. He just about gets that spray down to leave Snatchy all alone in an almost unwinnable retake. And indeed, it is now unwinnable as Coley gets the final kill.
Yeah, that could have been very dangerous once again. Spirit leaving it down to the last couple of seconds to actually get that bomb planted. But this time it does work out in their favour at least. So picking up the first round in overtime, off to a good start on the T side, of course, as after this investment now AGO, they still have a decent amount of money left if they are to lose this round, thanks to it being a 16k start. But still, ideally now they want to try and pick themselves up the final 2 rounds. Spirit, if they're able to find at least 1 more on this T side, they'll be in a pretty solid position. But for now, they will perhaps be taking a bit more of an aggressive stance than in the previous rounds. We see Davkos facing mid. He's able to catch Snatchy off guard, as that pop flash just does not work at all for AGO. And it's now Spirit once again claiming that man advantage early on.
Yeah, good start in the AWP on AWP battle. Again, we've seen Davkos win that a couple of times, whereas I don't think Snatchy has ever really won that fight. He's down towards the bottom of the scoreboard, and I think most of his kills came on the T side. Either way, it's going to be Spirit with the man advantage, thanks to Davkos, as we were pointing out. And again, Ago, they push down Banana. Oftentimes they have gone for this, but Tao is going to stick around solo holding B. If he goes down, then the B site would be very, very open. So he has, again, a lot of pressure on him, and he has dealt with it quite well up until this point. So I don't think Ago will be too worried. But at the same time, being a man down, it's never easy to come back from this position. Although with 42 seconds left, again, Spirit, they're going to have to go for the push soon, and it looks likely to be in towards A as SDY does find that quick trade of 4v2 now.
Yeah, Tao's aggressive push down Banana just didn't work out either, as at the moment Dima does seem to be actually making his way up Banana. There is still the option for Team Spirit to make their way back towards B, and with the opening kill being found, Furlan falls, and I think that should indeed be the B-bomb site now being taken under control of the terrorist side. PHR, he's looking to try and rotate in, but he could be perhaps caught off guard by Coldy, who seems to be at the moment just kind of hiding in the apartments. And there we go, PHR making his way up, may be able to spot out Coldy at least. Will find that kill, but now with his position known in a 1-on-3, 27 points of HP is all he has to work with, and picking up an op, I don't think he's really going to be able to get too much done. If he had found that perhaps onto Sunday Young, it could have got awkward, but it does not work out. In Spirit, taking 2 rounds already on the T side, and they have the chance to get up towards 18 before they even get on the CT side.
Yeah, and Snatchy might not have a proper weapon. Even with 16k starting money, if you go for the AWPs, it can sometimes be an issue. And this is one of those rare situations where Snatchy has to go down to a 5-7. Shouldn't be a massive difference, all things considered, but it's never nice to not be on a full buy in a round you really need to win. Flash comes in, Dima forced to turn away, and he snaps back around for the headshots. The peak not going to come in from Tao because he knows if he dies, he could lose the B site and lose this round alone. So he doesn't go for the aggressive play. I think Tao may have taken some damage from the nades there before he was forced to fall back. And so again, Ago, they're left in this awkward position where they lose the opening pick, and they're left with 2 very isolated players trying to play on the sites. Makes it really difficult to hold it off when you keep on losing those opening picks, and that has been the biggest issue in overtime for Ago so far.
Yeah, 3 rounds in a row so far where it's been a 4-on-5 in favour of Team Spirit, and they've been doing a good job so far capitalising on it. Will they be able to do it once again? As they do look to try and group up over towards A. It seems Snatchy only has a pistol to work with. Davkos peek in this corner with the op will actually miss the shot and allow Snatchy for the moment to remain alive. And even with a flash, he decides to go for the reface, but he's not going to be able to find anything quite yet. The terrorists, yet they even themselves get any control in towards middle. So let's see where they finally decide to take this one. Someday young Snatchy tempted to peek, and he will be found even with claiming the dink. It's not going to be enough. 5-on-3 now as Team Spirit once again continue to increase this advantage.
Again, time is a factor, as has been the case consistently, but with Ago rotating towards B, looks like the time shouldn't be a massive issue, especially as Dima gets that kill. That's going to sell the fake perfectly. PHR just rotates off at the wrong time, and Ago finally realize they have fallen for a ruse. PHR going to come back around, but with 5 kills to find between them, this isn't going to be easy, especially as Dima hears the steps, gets the headshot. That means that PHR has to get the ace. Dima just decides to go passively. He's got his 3 kills. Now he goes for the repeak and is taken down, but that Molotov slows things further. PHR having to come back through towards long. This feels like Spirit are dictating where he has to go, although he does get a 3rd kill. There is going to be the eventual trade, and Spirit in prime position with all 3 T-sided rounds. They only need 1 out of these 3 CT ones to take this first map.
Yeah, AGO, of course, they can no longer take it in this first overtime. The best they can do now is bring themselves back to take 3 rounds in a row and force it to a second one. As right now, Spirit looking extremely likely to be able to close out this first map, as you mentioned. And I think they should be able to at least find 1 round on their CT side. But then again, going back to regulation, I don't believe the CT side of Team Spirit was all that amazing.
I think, yeah, it was decent, but they certainly lost a couple of rounds in there in the first half.
I think it was A7 at halftime, if I'm correct. Yeah. But then again, actually, AGO at one point, they were looking a bit weaker. And it was looking like Spirit had a great half built up, but thanks to the pistol, I guess, from AGO influencing it. So yeah, Spirit, they were decent on the CT side. They weren't spectacular, but they definitely had a very solid defense. So coming into this one now, they have everything they want. Of course, starting off with that 16k, they aren't going to be limited. They have the double op setup. They have all of the utility that they could ever require. And AGO with a similar setup now, other than the ops, of course, working with 5 rifles instead. Not really necessary to have an op on the T side of Inferno, as we mentioned earlier on. So with the 5 rifles, it perhaps indicates that we could be seeing a bit of a higher paced round coming in, and especially with all 5 players at the moment grouping up towards second mid.
And Dima is also playing fairly far back towards CT. Now he's going to go back towards Banana. As you were saying, Ago all around the A site. So it seems like they might go for a faster push here with over a minute left to play with. Some aggression out towards A long, and Davkost is smoked off, so that's all. Can't really do anything. The push will come in. They're going to wrap round to the site. Tao with this Molotov might be able to do something, but it doesn't quite go where it needed to. There come the kills already. The rifles holding strong. It's Sophic with a double, and that might just do it here because SDY is also in position, and it will be Spirit closing out this first map. And we'll go back to the desk to give us their thoughts on that first map.
Welcome back to the desk, and Aggo losing their map. Oh, sorry. Team Spirit winning their map pick, reverse sweeping Aggo after Aggo was leading 14-11 at one point. Team Spirit managed to come back in overtime and win it 19-15 to close it out. So congrats once again to Team Spirit. They're now moving to a second map that will be a cobble, and it's Aggo's pick. But before we go into a second map, we are going to analyze what just happened on Inferno, sorry. So basically, Aggo on city side were kind of okay, let's say like that. They had a bit of a problems. One thing that comes to my mind was PHR picking mid. I don't know if you remember. I'm white picking mid on Eco.
Yeah.
I don't know what was that. It wasn't even a shoulder pick. I think he just ran out with his knife out. But that was questionable, and seems like Team Spirit found their game on T side, basically reading Aggo. They faked them, I think, 5 times, if I'm not mistaken, on their T side. But let's break it down, Danny. So you have big lead. I mean, not that much of a big lead, but again, 14-10. You have advantage in terms of guns, more utility for you, and Team Spirit walks into your site with Mac 10, kills 2 guys, and at that point everything falls apart for Aggo.
Was that a question?
And do you think that, I don't know, maybe problems with players? Is it mentality? Is it maybe confidence going down after losing that kind of a round?
I think it's happened because of the bad communication. I mean, a couple of times Furlan and Snatchy died in first 25 seconds since the round starts, and that gives Team Spirit a huge man advantage because, as you said, they faked Aggo 5 times or even more, or maybe 6 on T side, and I mean, Someday Young dropping 30 kills, Dima playing good as well, but Team Spirit was playing really unpredictable in the second half. They threw almost all the utility on towards A long, putting one guy there to draw some attention, falling back to B side, getting that plant. I mean, it was kind of when you look at it in the screen, it seemed like so easy for Team Spirit, but it wasn't like that. But Aggo sometimes kept 4 players on A side, leaving only 1 guy at B, and that cost them a couple of rounds. When it was 14-11, I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna call for a tactical pause or something to sort things out, but that didn't happen. And after that, they just couldn't win these 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think we see that much of a tactical pauses coming in online matches. I don't know why. But surely when it comes to LAN finals, everyone's calling for tactical pause to calm themselves down. Maybe because they see players and how they're reacting. But Hogar,
it's more like a mental game, I think.
Yeah, but Hogar, what do you think? Is it a problem for Aggo? I mean, losing a player, as Danny mentioned, at the first 10 to 15 seconds into the round, that opens up map for Team Spirit. That means one player can either rotate towards A if a guy died on A, or towards B. Leaves a gap towards A side, and that maybe that's why Team Spirit faked Aggo so much, because they always had the man advantage. They can do whatever they want at that point. Leave one guy towards A house, 4 guys running toward B. Surely, when you see smokes coming your way on A side, you're going to pull that one player from B towards A side, and if you are only one man at disadvantage at that point, you only leave one towards B, and that's what basically happened for Aggo every single time.
I want to mention that round you first. First of all, that round you asked how did they lose with Mach 10 rushing through the long. The thing is that they played really good and smart. It's smart decision. The effect is when you throw that smoke, it's between a library and the site.
Yeah, small pit.
Yeah, small pit. Basically, it means you will attack short and house and make a smoke, place their smoke for the op playing long. And they just, when they threw the smoke, they just were walking towards long, and on the end, they just without any flare jumped to the smoke, and he killed the guys without looking them from the back. Other thing you said, you mentioned, yeah, when you have 4 guys on city, you're obviously in this disadvantage. But the thing is, on the Inferno, you can play 2-on-2 on sites. For example, on DAS 2, you cannot play. It's more hard for rotate because you can rotate much more faster on the Inferno. And the second thing, when you're T, even if you don't have an advantage, it's so easily to rotate and fake guys on the sites because you can throw from the top of banana, you can throw smokes on B or from the middle on A and just throw 1 flash or 2 of them, doesn't matter, and just leave 1 guy. So basically, but when you have a 5 versus 4, it's so much easier. And they were gambling with 3 guys stuck on A. They were, for I think 2 times, they didn't even rotate at all. So one time it pays off for them, second time it didn't, so they didn't have luck.
Yeah, I didn't actually see any aggressive control of banana from Aggo as well. I think they wanted to do it one time.
They had one.
Yeah, they had one time, but one player got killed immediately, and they gave it up. Like, nope, we take banana. We'll lose round.
Take banana.
We'll lose round either way. Yeah, that will be it for Inferno. Second map that's coming your way is Cobble, and it was picked by Aggo. So we are going for a short commercial break. When we come back, we are going for analysis of Cobble. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Farmskins Championship Season 2, also a qualifier for IEM Katowice. I'm Reman, I will be your host for the final match and final best of 3 of the day, together with me in studio, Hoger and Danny. So we are ready to go soon into the second map that will be Cobble between Ago and Team Spirit. Team Spirit has an edge after winning in overtime on their map pick, and even though it was a tough opponent on Inferno. Ego managed to swing a couple of rounds in a row, but I forgot to ask you, gentlemen, one question. Maybe Ego had problems because Tuao had really underwhelming.
Yeah, I think he had 10 frags or something like
11
that.
something
11
like
at
that.
the end, but
And
he
Snatchy had like 13 or 14.
Yeah, Tuao had 2 frags at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah.
Pretty underwhelming performance from him, even though we said Tuao needs to step up. He's their best player.
His new
One of
Virtus
the
Pro
best
player.
Yeah, maybe new Virtus Pro player, but he was underwhelming. Hopefully he can bounce back on Cobble.
Everybody has those days when you really
of course.
cannot
You can't
find
really
timing.
be that consistent as
Nobody can.
the likes of Godzilla.
I wasn't expecting 45 kills from him for this match.
Yeah, you didn't say that. But
I didn't even want to, but
Cobble is the second map of this best of 3 duel. So, of course, ninth round will decide who is going to start where. But Danny, do you think that maybe Team Spirit or the other side, Ago, if you think so, need to start on CT side? Because I think we all agree that it's a T-sided map.
yeah.
That maybe they need to start on CT side, try to get as many rounds as they can, and then maybe do their best on T.
Yeah, they should start on City's side. I mean, it could be better for them for the start. Ago, if you remember last time, I wasn't here in the studio with you guys. I had to go to some other place. So I wasn't watching the whole map, or I didn't watch it also actually. So I don't quite remember who was better on which side. It was 16-12 for Ago. So
yeah, I think Ago came back towards the end. That was that map when we
were alone.
yeah when we
alone.
were alone. Yeah. Basically, I think Team Spirit had it towards the halftime, and few rounds at the beginning, but they kind of slacked after that because Ago pretty much demolished them.
Okay.
On Cobble. Tuao had a really great game. That's why I keep mentioning him, because I think he is the star player of the team and he is the playmaker as well. Even though Snatchy is AWP player, Furlan, we saw him as secondary upper. Furlan is also a player that's not really getting any notice, but I remember him when he has a good game. Basically, all you need to watch is Furlan going crazy, because I think his movement is really good when he's playing well. His aim is on point. Every single frag is a highlight from him, especially in overpass. I think that map suits him very well, but we'll see. Maybe he steps up here on Cobble. Team Spirit now 1-0 up against Ago. One more map to advance to playoff bracket. Are the nerves, Hoger, coming in now for Ago, because this is the final match of Group A, and if they make it through, they are going for that playoff single elimination bracket with 4 invited teams. And as if I saw correctly on commercial we just had, it's Big, Fnatic, Hellraisers, and one more team that's invited for that playoff single elimination. So
I didn't notice which one.
I don't know if I'm correct, but I'll watch the commercial again just to confirm it.
maybe Fnatic.
I think he said Fnatic.
Yeah, I said Fnatic.
You said? Okay.
Yeah, Big Fnatic, Hellraisers +1. Maybe Sprout.
No, I don't think so.
No? Yeah, well, never mind. Sprout is in Group D, as I just got information. So, okay, Hoger.
I think Ago, they don't have some kind of traumatic experience because of first map, because it was Spirit's pick, right? So Cable is their pick. We know how they play there. They can win easily. They can bounce back. They're professionals. They play for such a long time. So I think they will not have problem with this map.
Yeah, do you think that maybe I asked this question to Danny, but do you think that maybe they need to start or can start on city side in order to maybe have a better start, or maybe even T to dictate the tempo, as some would say?
I would always, as I always say, I will always pick this side because it's easier to dictate tempo. It's easier to be more loose, so you can make mistakes. So I would choose this side for sure.
Yeah, basically sets the tempo of the whole game,
Yeah.
how you start your T side, but it can backfire definitely. Team Spirit reads you and you get wrecked to every single site you get, especially if they could continue to play like they did. Samda Young had amazing game on Inferno. Hopefully he can continue to play like he did. Danny, he's a new player, he's a stand-in. I mean, for now, it's not more a stand-in.
So it's not official yet?
Yeah, I don't know if it's official or not, but...
Let's say trial.
Yeah, let's say
on
trial. And he's proving that he's worthy of Team Spirit. One more player that comes to my mind is Dima. I think Dima is a hell of a player, and he can definitely be a fragger in Team Spirit. Do you think that maybe if they start on T side, Team Spirit, they maybe go loose? Don't try to maybe overthink stuff, because that can ruin them at one point. They have really good firepower. Maybe go loose, try to get frags, try to maybe push through smoke, surprise Ago, and those kind of plays to dictate the pace.
Well, yeah, they will try to get all the freedom they can on T side. Especially, I know they're strong when they're going for that B push with all the executes. But if Ago wants to win on this second map, they really need any help from Snatchy and Twao. I mean, Twao with 11 kills, Snatchy with 13, and Cobblestone is not that kind of a map like Inferno where anyone can die in first 15 seconds. So everybody needs to get in their positions and just to wait, call for rotations, call for any other things, and that's just it. Hogar, you said that Ago will win this easily. I think Spirit will take this one, since I've seen Ago on Inferno struggling a bit towards the end when it was 14-11, and especially
I
in the
didn't say
overtime.
they will win
When
easily.
did he say that?
You said it's going to be easy for Ago.
Are you sober?
What? you remember?
What? I said it's a good map for them, but they can win. I didn't say easily or anything. I still rooting for Spirit. It's like 2-0 for me. I said it on the...
He said they can win easily.
No, he didn't.
Maybe they can win easily. They can bounce back in that kind of fashion. They can win easily. It's their map pick, but I didn't say like they will win easily. You know.
Were you here the whole time?
Yes.
Or just came?
No. You're gonna watch the stream. You're gonna replay that.
Maybe I said it. I don't know really. I'm rooting for Spirit anyway.
I remember that, dude.
I don't think he actually said that.
We're gonna watch. We're gonna go back in production room.
Why so tilt, man?
Bro.
Your prediction?
16-12 Spirit.
Spirit. Here you go. Is it easily for Ago or not?
Easily for Spirit, right? I would say 16-10 Spirit.
He's mad. He's mad,
No,
boys.
I'm not.
I'm not. I know you just need a candy bar and you're okay. We're ready to go live with our second map of the day between Team Spirit and Ago. So Dean and Hoka, take us away.
Thank you very much, Rema. We are here for the second map on Cobblestone. After Spirit just about edged the first map in their favor, they'll be hoping they can close it 2-0 here on Cobble. And I think this will be quite a close map. I think I agree with the desk, but I'm going to edge it over towards Ago. I still think they will hold on, but I could certainly see this one going the way of Spirit, depending on how this one starts.
Yeah, I think how it starts early on is really going to be the big influence. I think there is going to be a lot of momentum involved in this map. AGO, I think if they're able to get off to a decent start, they should definitely be taking this one, especially with how good of a fight they actually put up on the map choice of Team Spirit. Of course, you do have to remember that Spirit, they did choose Inferno, and it almost went in favour of AGO, but a nice comeback to force it to overtime eventually allowed Spirit to completely wipe it in that overtime. Not a single round, I believe, was picked up by AGO, so it was a good performance. Coming on to Cobblestone now, Spirit, they aren't slouches on this map either, of course, but I will agree with you that I would slightly favour AGO to pick this one up.
Well, there are our thoughts, but we'll have to see if they become reality, because Spirits certainly were looking good towards the end of Inferno. We will get both teams readying up to start us off. Ago starting on the T side. We're going to head into the pistol. Fly's coming in. Sophic already gets a kit and 2 flashes. You don't normally see 3 players spawn up on the site, but that's what Spirit have got this time around. Could allow them to PK long if they really wanted to, but there's no need to do so. In the meantime, Furlan's been dropped to P250, so he can get some quick headshots. P250 can find one-shot headshots against players without Kevlar, so he may look for that. As Ago goes straight towards B at the start of the round.
Yeah, an extremely fast-paced round going to be coming out at the moment with these Glocks looking to try and close the distance, but Dima, he started off strong, finds the opening headshot. It will be returned by Groovy and Teo, and even Snatchy able to chime in with the action as he's able to take down Coldy. So in an instance, after it started off pretty decent for Team Spirit, AGO able to claim themselves a 2-man advantage, and that's increased even further, as now it's only Davkos that remains. His position is going to be known. He hits that shot on the PHR and gives himself a chance now at least to go for this retake, but Teo, as he sprints across the platform, is going to be able to hit the headshot, and AGO pick up the pistol round on their map choice.
There we go, pretty convincing pistol round, surviving with 3 players at the end and overwhelming the B site to take that first. Spirit just going to go for the pistols. Dima sticking with the 5.7. You don't see too many players with the 5.7 these days, but he is staying true with that gun. In the meantime, CZ's on most of the other teammates. There are certainly advantages to the 5.7. It's better at range, but the CZ does seem pretty ridiculous sometimes with some of the kills you can get. So understand where most players have switched. Either way, Ago just holding off mainly towards A. And if they do go for the A push, there are 4 players here on the CT side. I'm not necessarily saying that they win the round, but they certainly should do some damage if the push were to come in. Although having said that, it's 3 players towards A long, and Coldy the only man in towards mid, so that could be a little awkward. Davkos, however, is watching that position from danger, and here comes the push. So Ago might lose a couple of players here.
Yeah, it depends about whether AGO actually decide to try and run up danger. That's when it could get extremely dangerous. Davkos and Coldy, though, they find a kill each. Sotvic, he's going to be able to chime in also before being traded out by Furlan. And it's looking pretty good now for the CT side, as they don't expect Davkos to also be waiting on the site. And Sundai Young, he'll be on this flank now, and he should be able to shut it down. He whips a little bit, perhaps, but eventually stabilizes and will be able to take down Snatchy. So Spirit, they come into that immediately with the pistols to chime back in and put it at an equal scoreline, as it is currently 1-1. AGO now, it looks like they may be the team that is forced to invest into this one and only have pistols to work with.
Yeah, and maybe they could rush down drop or something like that, but you'd expect an incendiary to be there, so it should be quite difficult for Ago to really get too much done in a round like this. Especially on the T side, it's a little bit more awkward sometimes to use those pistols and to be able to get up close. See out towards plat, the smoke is up as it is in towards drop. And they're just going to hold off around A. We saw Spirit play very slowly on their T side, back on Inferno. Looks like Ago are taking a page out of their books to start things off here. Pretty slow start to the round, although SDY did spot out Tao there. Not going to get the kill, though, as Tao falls back to the rest of his team. Sophic has pushed up towards B plat. He's in that awkward corner where if you get mollied out, you're basically dead. But of course, there's no molly there, so not a massive consideration. And here Ago go down drop. Coldy certainly hears them. He's not reacting to it just yet. Now he moves back around.
Yeah, and this could be a difficult hold right now, especially as Sotvic isn't able to get much done from the platform, but he will be able to open it up, even drops the bomb in the process. Dima shutting it down with the rifle, as is Coldy. And Sotvic, of course, able to take down Snatchy as he comes through the smoke. So perfect round by Spirit in the end. They don't lose a single player. And great B-bomb site defense does come in. And AGO now, they should be just going for a full eco. They don't really have the economy to afford to even invest into pistols, as right now the average economy is 1950 on the 4 players, and for them with an extra $50 perhaps could have bought a decoy to give himself something to work with. Who knows what damage could be done with a decoy. That's a slight bit of sarcasm, of course, but yeah, it is just not looking too good for AGO right now, as it is going to be Davkos to open it up with the M4. Takes down one player early on. Of course, the Glock's now trying to close the distance, but the chances of kills coming in, I was gonna say, is quite minimal. Quite slim, rather, but Groovy is able to take down one at least, to even retrieve himself a weapon, and with still full HP. Perhaps some more damage could be found by AGO, particularly Groovy.
That rifle had the chance for a pick there, but doesn't connect on the man in towards door, and Coldy gets the re-peek off, so he will realise that there's no T's in towards mid. That's because they've all gone towards A long instead. Davkos may spot them out shortly. Nade goes over the top, and Davkos is going to pick the first man off. Coldy comes through door, and Grubby, even with that rifle, will not get anything going. Coldy going to take him down at the end. So a quick 3-1 lead for Spirit, despite losing the pistol round. Thanks to the force buy, they have the early advantage. And AGO don't have a great buy here. Sure, they have the AKs, but a few nades missing. No AWP. It's a bit debatable whether you want the AWP on the T side, but they didn't even have the option for it. So could certainly still be good for Spirit, as Davkos can afford the AWP on the CT side, of course.
Yeah, the one SMG that's carried over is actually going to be played in towards the drop room, or at least it was originally. It is now going to back out towards the window, which is perhaps even a better position. I guess that's kind of an opinion, but I think being able to have this angle from below and just kind of mow the players down as they jump through the window, kind of defenseless, it's a very viable weapon in that position. But of course, AGO right now, they are just splitting up for a default. A lot of presence being put towards A long, as we can see on the radar. 3 players grouped up. Only 1 player on the, rather 2 players on the CT side, but both of those playing extremely passively. Sumdai Young on the back of long, 1 player also from Connector just spotting mid. But for the moment, they should be AGO being able to fairly easily gain this map control, as we do see the 1 player who was at least trying to get some info will finally begin to fall back off towards the bomb site, and that's actually a decent nade there by Sotfik. Some damage being put in towards Groovy, as now control has been taken, and this is a nice peek. PHR uses his teammate's head to be able to take down Coldy with ease, and now on a 5-1-4 AGO, they have a good position to perhaps even split on onto this A bomb site, or even towards B, as the bomb at the moment is towards the back of B long.
Yeah, Grubby just basically transformed himself into a box and boosted his teammate up. Not a bad idea. Was that a team nade? Yes, SDY taken down to half HP. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication as to where the players were playing from. I think that team nade did a decent amount of damage, but SDY will get to fall back to safety. 22 seconds left here, and AGO have to go now, and Snatchy does get the entry and a second headshot. Nicely done. Furlan will also chime in. Dima only allowed the 1 kill, and you saw there SDY did get a team assist, so that nade must have done about 40 odd damage or something, which is a little bit of a shame. Doesn't really matter though, because the entries came in nonetheless, and Sotfik will not be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Sotfik still seems to be pushing for this. If he did save, he could drop that weapon over to one of his teammates who's not really working with a great economy. He will at least find 1 kill, but now in his position now, and he has to be cautious of the flank also that could potentially come in. We see Groovy already pushed his way out through middle, and Sotfik, he seems to be still perhaps looking to try and go for this, and I think he will just hang around on long now, pushed up quite aggressively in a position where he shouldn't really be found by AGO. Should allow him to save this M4 over unless PHR is able to get this done, but as we can see, he will not, but he may run straight into another player. There we go, Groovy finally takes it down, but it was very costly in terms of economy, that hunt by AGO. I'm not really sure if that was necessary. They don't really have too much money left over in the bank now.
And Spirit should still get a pretty damn good buy together. See 1 UMP in the mix, but certainly not something that you would go crying about. They will much rather just focus on the round, especially considering, again, AGO lacking a little bit in terms of their nades. Not quite a full arsenal of grenades for them to work with, especially with Tao going for this AWP on the T side. I said that it's something you don't have to go for, but he's decided he is going to have it. So that has costed him in terms of not being able to fully buy, not even getting a helmet, which could become a factor. We are yet to see if it will come into play, though. Again, Spirit just holding with 3 players towards B, a fairly standard setup for them. Be interesting to see if they continue to lose rounds, if they decide to switch that up. But for the time being, they are still confident that this setup can hold off the poles. And with a little over a minute left on the clock, again, AGO very willing to take the start of the round slowly. But at the same time, on the Spirit side, they've used very little of their utility, so they can use these smokes later into the round and potentially make Ago's push much more difficult.
Yeah, just so much utility still left over him. With only 48 seconds left now, AGO will be grouping up towards the B-bomb site, but Molotov, smokes, flashes all in play to try and delay this, and that could be the time perhaps getting a little bit too low for AGO, but as we can see, they are able to actually make their way out with ease. It is going to be the first kill in favour of Dima, so scratch that with ease part, as Dima is going to be able to find 2 before eventually falling, but PHR, he successfully returns about finding 2 of his own, and Furlan with the op, tempted to try and peek this, could be dangerous, and as you can see, he will be taken down by Dalfcost. He pays the price for that peek, and that price is, of course, his death, as now it's on to Groovy and PHR to try and save this round for AGO. If they're to lose this one, they could be on an eco in the following round, as now Groovy playing around the smoke, will spot with the first player, takes down Dalfcost, and he takes down Sundai Young, and of course he is going to go ahead and close it off with a hat-trick on towards Coldy. And AGO, they are able to equalise the scoreline in a round there that was looking a little bit desperate.
Yeah, just solid sprays coming in from Grubby there. Nothing too flashy, but he gets each of the kills he needed. Playing on the edge of that smoke as well did seem to catch Spirit off guard. So Ago will now be the ones back in control of the money. Having said that, Spirit are going to sack towards B. Could be dangerous, depending on if Ago commit to the push. We are seeing a player boost up into tree. Davcost up there. Ooh, what is this? Okay, an interesting boost. That's going to line them all up alongside each other with the players on the floor. So this is a really cool idea, and it might work for them, depending on if Ago go for the push. Looks like the bomb might be thinking of going back, though. I really want to see how this plays out, though. If Spirit could get a kill or two, then that would probably be worthwhile, and it certainly looks like they could with that stack of players.
Oh yeah, this is a very interesting position right now. It's something I've never seen before, so let's see what is gonna happen if we do see AGO eventually approach this B-bomb site. Of course, it's looking likely, but the only problem is they do already have one player creeping up towards the A-bomb site, and he seems to have spotted out perhaps no presence is going to be put on this A-bomb site at all by the CT side, and because of that, the bomb has begun to hightail its way back over towards A instead. So Furlan in drop room, he's the only player really close to the stack on B. A flash goes out, he's, I believe, just going to try and spot out if this is a stack or not, but for now, doesn't really want to give this weapon away. Just going to make his way back through connector, group up with his teammates and ensure that they play this as safe as possible. So Spirit, no success to be found by this incredibly unique stack that they went for, but maybe a couple of kills could still be found. Furlan just about manages to retreat with 8 points of HP, as now the bomb going down. It should secure that round in favour of AGO.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind Spirit just sticking together, seeing if they can get some kills, and Tao could have been in trouble there. If a kill would have come in towards him, he would have lost that thought. However, instead, he just gets the one kill and walks away. The rest of Spirits are trying to stick together as they push their way all the way around. And if they could group up and get a kill, that would be pretty good for them. But Grubby thought was going to fall back after finding a frag, but he continues to take the fights. In the meantime, Sachi also pushes through a sloppy spray down, but eventually it manages to secure the kill. Still, the push comes in, and there we go. One frag comes through, and AK is dropped. Like I said, that Grubby and PHR clean up the round. So nothing really done from Spirit. It's a bit of a shame we didn't get to see that stack come into play, but I'm sure Spirit won't be too bothered because they have the buy now.
Yeah, but this is where it gets important now. AGO been able to pick up quite a few runs in a row. 3 now, I believe, back-to-back, as they have begun to build up a decent economy. They have some money left over if they are to lose our round to be able to buy once again, and it looks like they will be swapping the pace up now in this round, instantly over towards the B-bomb site. But of course, the CT side, they have 4 players in position to try and hold this down, and the kills, they do immediately go in favour of Team Spirit. Sotvik with a double will eventually traded out by Groovy. PHR on the flank from the drop room, able to find a quick double headshot, and now it's all onto Sundai Young. He's left alone in the 1-on-2. His position, I don't believe it's known, but a great pop flash goes in by PHR, and it's going to be Tao to find the final kill, as AGO once again picking up an amazing round. Apologies for my dog.
Yeah, that was really nice from PHR. I mean, clearly your dog's just excited about the play there, because there you go, they took the site very, very quickly. And yeah, really nice headshot for PHR. They just line up for him. And he also managed to get that flash off, which allowed Tao to go for the peak, get that final frag. It really was those 2 kills that made all the difference in that round, and have again forced Spirit back down to pistols. No crazy stack towards the B site this time around. Though they do still have a couple of players here with CZs, and Davcost nearly had the chance to take down Tao there. The push is going to come in. Furlan, though, gets the spray down. He has his teammates back. So that makes sure that the Orc can get back to safety. It doesn't look like anyone else from Spirit is interested in taking those fights. I'm not going to go the way of Spirit, even though they got a decent amount of damage done. PHR, however, spots out a player that was boosted up. Dima did get the 1 kill, but shouldn't really lead to anything all that dangerous as PHR does take a hit, but can now go back to the A site.
Yeah, and it should be the round gone in favour of AGO. They do, of course, still have 2 players alive over on Team Spirit side, so they do have a chance perhaps to try and bring this back, but usage of utility going to be going in towards the balcony window. The Molotov goes down, and that should stop them from really being able to advance any further. And as you can see right now, Coldy, after retrieving an AK, he's just looking to try and save this if possible. Should be allowed to happen. AGO, they themselves aren't working with the best economy, but they could maybe afford to send one or two of these players rather out to try and actually hunt this down. I'm not sure if it's too worthwhile. Team Spirit buying and just following around anyway, and with full money bonus, it shouldn't really make too much of a difference rather. But here we go. Groovy, he is at least holding to wait and see if he can catch any of these players off guard. But AGO looking very solid so far in the T side of this map, showing that it is indeed their map pick. They're definitely prepared on it.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the case. They're just winning the few gun rounds they need to keep Spirit's economy low, which is allowing them to build a considerable lead. Colby has managed to save the AK. SDY will get to save the Kevlar, so a little bit for Spirit to utilize into this upcoming 10th round. You can also see Davkost electing to go for the AWP. So fairly standard buy on both sides of the equation. Here we go into round 10. AGO haven't really gone towards A all that often. It looks like that might be about to change because a fair few players are there with the bomb. They're just going to go straight out towards A by the looks of things. Tau is flashed in and Davkos could be in trouble. He's caught in the back. And Tau gets a very quick entry towards A, although the rotate has already come in from Sotvik. He's in position to eventually get the trade, but the push continues up mid. Such a frantic round, but Tau comes in to bring it back to a 2v2.
Yeah, and Snatchy now finally going to be grouping up with his teammate, but he doesn't expect Coldy to be pushed forward into this position on the ramp. One-on-one now is Tau. He will get caught off guard, taking out his knife to jump across. He does end up getting taken down by Coldy. So in the end, Spirit finally been able to take themselves another round. It was looking a little bit scary there for a while, as it was just so back and forth continuously, the kills. Eventually, with one player alive, Spirit take it, but their economy still not really going to be great. Of course, only living with one player, they will be struggling if they're to lose this round. So AGO, with their full buy coming out once again, they're in a position now where they're looking to try and reset the economy of Team Spirit, which is definitely a danger that they should be looking out for at the moment. As look at this by Furlan, nice smoke out on the platform, looking to just try and spam and force some utility up by Team Spirit, knowing that their economy isn't too great. They won't have all the utility they want perhaps, and just making sure that later on in the round, if they do decide to hit one of these bomb sites, it will be easier. There'll be less utility to slow them down.
Indeed, that utility already starting to thin. Do see Davkost decide to reposition out towards A long. In the meantime, AGO creeping out towards B. This could be a push from them, but Snatchy is still on the other side of the map. Looks like they still want to go for it, though. With over a minute left on the clock, the peak comes in. Furlan dishes out some damage, but will he check this position? Yes, he does. He gets that frag. Even though gets one back alongside Coldy holding from Rock. That also allows SDY to get into position, but PHR gets a couple of entries and he makes it a 3K. That was incredibly quick from PHR, just dispatching of Spirit players. And there we go, AGO win the round in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that was just basically instant there. I looked away for half a second, looked back, and every single kill had gone in favour of AGO, it seemed. So going into this round, as I mentioned, Spirit, they were facing the problem where if they were to lose that round, they would have their economy reset. And you can see the result of that. They are going to be working with a pretty weak buy into this one. They do at least have an up, which is a small silver lining. But even then, Davkost, he hasn't really been having the best performance so far in this series. Let's see if he's going to be able to step it up. And early on, he is going to manage to at least damage up Furlan. But in return, he himself is going to be brought down extremely low. Somebody young now also on long. He may actually hear the footsteps now going back, and that could give them a bit of info to begin sending players back towards the B bomb site. But for the moment, at least, it seems like they are going to continue on with this gamble. As now, finally, we do see Dima and Sotvik regrouping on the B bomb site, but they're still going to have a very difficult task to try and hold this down against 4 oncoming terrorists. who do have a massive advantage with the rifles. And here we go. Tau opens it up with a headshot onto Dima. Tapping away, gets himself another, and Snatchy also able to take one onto Colby. Sotvik trying to bring it back, but it wasn't enough, as it's now all onto Sumda Young. It was a 1-on-4 originally, but finding one kill perhaps could retrieve that weapon. But as we see Forlin through the door, he spams away and finds the final headshot. AGO now 8-4.
More importantly, they managed to again reset Spirit. A lot of Ago's round wins have come from just forcing Spirit down to continual ecos. That is certainly a good way to get those rounds together. And remember, Spirit, they didn't win the pistol round, but they did get 3-round wins after winning a round 2 force buy. Either way, Spirit again going to be stacking the pistols together, this time in towards mid. You see this quite often from teams these days, looking to get a kill or two, and it might work out. Snatchy, ooh, gets a kill before Furlan puts a bullet into the back of his head. Either way, Furlan gets another frag, and PHR also going to nail a couple of headshots. Very quick kills with the AKs, even after running into the stack. But here comes the buy from Spirit, although again, not going to be that great of a buy. You can see Davkost having to buy the AWP without any other investment.
Yeah, the glass cannon up, not ideal. Davkost, I'd like to see him step it up now. It's definitely what Team Spirit are missing. They haven't really had that up presence. We've seen over on the other hand, AGO, they've been very successful at finding openings, whether it be with a rifle or with the op. And of course, right now, it looks like they will be favouring over towards A. Most of their presence was originally just grouped up outside of middle. But it seems like with no real success early on, no peaks coming in by the CT side, they are just going to instead back off into a fairly standard default. That smoke going down, I guess, was really what really forced them to decide to just cancel their original faster play, perhaps. But now, grouping up over towards the drop room, looks like they will have a destination. And for the moment, at least, that's looking to try and gain control of this position. Give the option to split towards either bomb site. Give the option to leave a player there to just try and cut off any rotates from the CT side, and it can be a very useful tactic indeed. As over towards middle also, 3 terrorists do group up together, but the bomb at the moment is actually left in the B halls. Still a minute remaining, so I presume if they do eventually hit A, likely only be one player coming through the drop room.
Well, with 50 seconds left and drop control, Ago have some options. They could always try and split towards A, but it looks more likely they're going to go towards B. But just as I say that, no, they are now coming back towards the A side of the map, and that might be to their detriment, because Dima is holding in towards Connector, and there are 2 players on the A site itself. So SDY and Sotvik can hold alongside each other. Sotvik nearly caught with awful timing, but he does get that frag. In the meantime, though, Coldy has gone down elsewhere. There's still 3 players holding off A. As I say that, though, Furlan picks one out, and Tau also finds a kill. PHR chimes in with yet another frag. And even when Ago run into a stack, it seems like they get all the kills they need to open up the site. And this is much more like the Ago we were expecting to see show up today.
Yeah, this is a much better performance right now. They're just completely rolling over their opponents. We haven't really seen much being done from Team Spirit other than those initial 3 rounds that they found. Eventually picked up another where they did have only 1 player surviving, and the instant reset leads you to see the current scoreline that we have now, which is where AGO, where they're going to be up 10-4, and with the economy still being extremely weak for Team Spirit, 11-4 half is quite likely.
Oh, you're saying you were hoping that Kosk could step up. He didn't even really have the chance to in that round. They lose the A site. Despite him pretty much solo holding B with the AWP, he's just forced to save. So Spirit into the last round of the half will have the chance again to try and utilize this AWP. We will see the buy slowly but surely filter through, but they aren't going to be great. It's mainly Davkost with the AWP. And the awkward thing is, on a map like Cobblestone, it's quite difficult to get that CT aggression going. Even when you have an AWP, it's quite tough to find an opening pick with it. So on a lot of maps, if you had an AWP on the CT side, you might be able to make a play. But Davkost is going to have to rely on players pushing towards him, and that may happen because Ago really switching up the pace, going straight out towards the B site. They are gaining a lot of ground, but still no frags. There goes Dima opening up. Davkost does find 1 frag. He actually gets a second there. And Dima also comes in with a second of his own. Furlan chiming in with a couple back. But surely he can't win this 1-on-3.
Yeah, he is now going to be dinked down, so that should be the round in favour of Team Spirit, but this overall was a really nice round by Team Spirit. We saw early on, we saw them just kind of hiding back behind the smokes. They threw out their own Molotovs, I believe, and just done so much damage onto both Groovy and PHR, and then those two players were just easily finished off. So it was a great round. Of course, Davkos stepping it up with the up when it was required in from that chicken coop position, but eventually Team Spirit able to get themselves up to 5. Not really the most ideal half, but they do still have a chance, especially if they can pick up this T-side pistol.
PHR leading the way with 15 kills for the Polish team. But certainly the entire roster has stepped up for this map. It looks more and more likely that we could be going to a third. Although, as you were saying, Spirit, at the very least, getting 5 rounds together means they can still compete. But this pistol round becomes quite important. Coldy going to be dropped the P250. Sophic with a couple of nades alongside Spirit's buy. In the meantime, Grubby going to have a CZ in hand. That was dropped to him by PHR. He's going to play that towards the B side of the map, out towards Platts, but Spirit just going straight down drop, and there is no presence here from Ago. They may hear the steps, but Tau, unlikely to get a kill unless the timing is perfect, which it is. He gets one in the back, and in the meantime, Grubby has also found a frag. A little bit of an awkward engagement here as SDY eventually gets one for Spirit. Tau's still trying to go. It's actually down to a 3-on-3, and the bomb should go down on the A site now.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of a mistake being made there by AGO as we saw some perhaps over-aggression coming in. Coldy able to take himself another, but Grubby, he eventually returns it, as does Forlin from long, and the final kill is all that's needed now onto Sumdai Young. 8 points of HP. Try and pull off a 1 versus 2, and both of his opponents looking super healthy. There you go, Grubby here in the footsteps is able to close that out with a headshot, so slight overkill, just ensuring that his opponent isn't able to get the drop on him, and AGO picking up a pistol round that's going to allow them to lead 11-5, and no bomb plants coming in for Team Spirit means they most likely will be investing into this round.
Just a few pistols upgraded for Spirit, although they have quite a lot of nades on Sophic. He's gone for the full set of utility alongside the P250. He's had to skimp on Kevlar because of it, but might be worthwhile if it can allow his teammates to get up close and get some kills. In the meantime, Ago have a fair few MP9s ready to try and mow down the opposition. And they shouldn't have that much of a tough time in doing so. We are just going to see Spirit leaning towards A, and the bomb will also come forwards. So it seems as though the A play is more and more likely. But with Snatchy being in that position towards A long, he should be able to spot them out quite quickly if they try to go for the push. And he may also hear these steps in towards mid. So I'm not really expecting Spirit to get too much done here.
Yeah, 2 players already over on the A-bomb site, but then again, 1 player is extremely aggressive. Coldy, though, wildly spamming the deagle, is not really going to be able to find anything. He will end up falling, but luckily enough, it wasn't really the cleanest kill either for Snatchy. He did miss a lot of MP9 bullets, so after finding 1 kill, he could just get hunted down and didn't really have the time to reload. So Davkos picking up an MP9 at least gives him something to work with, and it looks like it will still be an execute towards this A-bomb site. Goal right now, try and get that bomb down, get a couple of kills, and of course, if possible, take the round. But a solid setup now between Tau, and I believe that is also PHR. Will make it just a bit harder now for Spirit to try and penetrate this defense. But here we go, Dima. He will be leading the way, has the P250 in hand. The Molotov used perfectly to push that player out into the open. But the trades do come back as Tau on the bomb site. He is going to be overwhelmed. Tau is going to fall. Davkos finds a kill onto Forlin. And this round looking like it may be going in favour of Team Spirit as it's all onto Groovy. 1-on-3. Finds that first kill at least. Will be able to push his way out. But still a good setup between these final 2 players underneath balcony and on the bomb site. Davkos just watching his teammates push. Sumdai Young doing the same. As now Groovy doesn't have a defuse kit currently. I'm not sure if there's one on the ground that could perhaps be picked up. But it's going to be a difficult one now as he pushes finally up towards the truck. Will be actually going above. May spot out the shadow as he does indeed find the first kill. But he does not check on their balcony. But he finds it anyway. Groovy, he should have time for the defuse. He picked up a kit, and what a clutch as AGO take around that. After the first couple of... After the A-bomb site was taken over, at least, it looks like they never should have really been taken.
Yeah, and Grubby definitely has been the standout performer all day for Ago. I mean, I say all day, it's only been 2 maps so far if you count this one, but still, the point stands. He has been leading the way in terms of frags, and that's something that certainly is a positive about this Ago lineup. They do have a lot of depth in their fragging. In the meantime, Spirit, with the bomb plant, decide it is worthwhile to go for the force. I don't think this is such a terrible idea, considering they can get 3 AKs together. Even if it does mean Sumdai Young and Sotfik don't have the best of buys, a Deeg in hand is certainly still capable of doing some damage. And Ago will very likely not expect this Force Buy to come out, even with the bomb plant. With a couple of MP9s in the mix, Spirit could certainly make this one competitive. I'm just going to take things slowly to start the round. Snatchy again towards A long, playing quite aggressively. He got picked off here in the previous round, so you can see him now going a bit more passively. Just I say that, he goes for the re-peek, and there go the AKs. The surprise factor gets them that first kill of the round.
Yeah, nice find there by Spirit. Snatchy taken down, wasn't expecting any sort of weaponry to be fighting up against them, so he wanted to close the distance with the MP9, and just doesn't work out when an AK peeks you around that corner. So Sumdai Young getting himself an MP9, not really the best weapon. Of course, I'd say he's probably still going to favour his Deagle, at least at the longer range angles, but as it looks like Team Spirit will still maybe try and approach this A-bomb site. It could be still a good setup for AGO. They currently have 3 players awaiting to try and get this done. Tao on the flank from B is going to be able to take down Sotfik, and he should notice now any second that this is completely clear. And here we go. It is going to be Forlan that takes some contact. Takes down 1 player at least, but the trades do come in. Davkot with a rifle. He's successfully able to find PHR. So on the site now will be Groovy looking to try and get this done, but he won't be successful. It's all on to Tao. Round 1 at least, but still going to be a difficult situation in a 1-on-2. There you go, Dima with the final kill.
And Spirit's AKs are enough. They get their 6th round on the board, and that means that Ago won't really have the cash. That's exactly what Spirit were hoping for in that round. There was a lot of pressure on that round for Spirit, so I'm sure that will be a relief that they managed to win that one. Now heading into this next round, it should again be Spirit taking quite an easy one. Don't expect Ago to go for the Force Buy. 1 eco might not be enough, though. It will put them on the edge of being able to buy, but with such a big lead, Ago don't really need to take a risk like that. So we might see Ago double eco, depending on exactly how this round plays out. And that could be interesting to watch out for, because Spirit could be right back in this game if Ago take the more conservative approach and do go for those 2 ecos.
Yeah, I'd say with the current scoreline, they don't really need to force buy. I think maybe just saving and focusing on the next gun round would be ideal, making sure they get everything they want. But then again, maybe investing into a couple of pistols, at least ensuring that they can get some damage done, would be also a pretty good situation. If they are already planning on going for the double eco, then I think trying to at least keep the economy of Spirit modest, because if we see Spirit coming into this round winning it with 5 players alive, then they're going to be building themselves up a very solid economy, and that's not really what AGO want. Of course, there is still a pretty big round gap between both teams, but building up that bank is the first real pillar that you need to actually be able to make a comeback happen.
And if you're wondering why with a bit of a pause going, it's because apparently one of the Spirit players had to go get the door, which is understandable. But while we have this chance, I'm going to give a quick thanks to our sponsors over at Farmskins. They claim they have better drops than Gaben. And to be honest, I certainly believe them. They also have daily bonuses, daily rewards, all sort of stuff on there. So make sure to check out Farmskins, and thanks to them for sponsoring the tournament. And here we go, perfect timing. We're going to unpause just as the ad read finishes. We can get right back into the game where Ago, well, Grubby's gone for the Force Buy. I know he didn't have much money, but there we go. The rest of the team will also force up behind it, except for Tao, who's keeping 3,600 in the bank. So a little bit of a weird buy, and it doesn't exactly look great considering this is almost all of Ago's money.
Yeah, it's not really leaving them with too much left over, so it looks like they will be banking on actually trying to win this round, and Spirit looking like they will be actually up in the pace, taking this fast towards the B-bomb site, and let's see if AGO are really going to be able to get anything done. At long range angles with these pistols, it's not so likely, especially with Sotfik being able to open it up with a great headshot on towards Tao. Groovy, he is spotted out over that smoke and will be taken down, and only 1 kill from Forlan himself before he does fall, and there we go. That should be the round now in favour of the T side. Snatchy, the last man standing on the bomb site, wasn't really able to get anything done with that Mag 7. So now Spirit able to take that round up against what was basically a full investment by AGO other than onto Tao. So coming into this one, it should be a full eco.
Yeah, except for Tao, who has the money, he can afford a Deeg, but the rest of the team certainly cannot. With $2,000 in the bank on pretty much all the Ago players except for Tao, They should be in decent shape to get a buy together, but it might not be a proper full buy that they would have wanted. Either way, Coldie's going to get that first. Nice second headshot. Doesn't quite get the third, but Davkost will steal one away. And Dima also taps off ahead. Spirit making this round look clean and easy. As PHR is the only survivor for Ago. I don't expect him to be surviving for too much longer. I thought he might have been spotted by Davkost there, but it's Coldie who eventually spots him out and secures the round with a 3k. Here comes the buy for Ago. You can see they might not get that many nades considering how much money they have.
Yeah, and they don't really have that great utility. It's actually not as bad as I was looking at first. At least they did have a bit more money still that they'd yet to invest in, but it's still not really perfect. But the positive is they do have the AWP finally onto Tau. He said specifically to get this weapon out, and they will be looking now to try and have some impact on that CT side with the op. Early on though, it is going to be just the T is splitting up for a fairly standard default, it appears. They have 3 players focused over towards the B side of the map. 2 players waiting to see if they can catch any aggression coming in towards middle, as it looks like Spirit themselves just... rather, AGO themselves are just holding back fairly passive themselves overall, but they have a bit of an aggressive stance. It's not like they're facing aggressively, but they are pushed up quite close in terms of the defense. They have 2 players up close on mid, 2 players up on the platform, and Furlan even deciding to push up more aggressively as he just pushes forward, finds the kill on the Dima, and happy enough with that kill now, he will just retreat back to the bomb site.
A pretty good opening pick, using just 1 incendiary to get that easy opening. With a minute left on the clock, Tau going to look for another kill, and he is going to find it. A 2-man lead should be extended further because Snatchy is going to be gifted a kill in towards mid as Sophic pushed all by himself. Coldie is going to get the eventual kill back, but there's still 2 players in towards mid, and they will both win their fights. Ago take their 13th round, and all it took for them was to have a gun round to get their 13th on the board. And interestingly, double AWP saved. It's certainly an option on Cobblestone, but you don't see most teams going for it. So we are going to have to see where they decide to play with these AWPs.
Yeah, I think the main problem with the double up setup on Cobblestone is just that you're very limited in terms of the aggressive peaks you can go for. That means that then you're kind of forced back on towards the sites, and then you're just going to be stuck into either holding down the bomb site itself or having to go for a retake. And of course, retakes with the ops, not ideal, but look at this by Team Spirit. A very aggressive round instantly towards the B bomb site. Orlan, though, he is going to be the first player to be able to find the kill. Also, damage has been done on towards Coldie, and he doesn't have any success at all pushing through that smoke. He will be taken down. And AGO now with a nice 2-man advantage is it's going to get increased even further by Furlan. And there we go. Furlan doing some real work towards this B-bomb site. AGO claiming a 14th round. And Team Spirit, their economy, it's not looking amazing. They may be facing an eco, but if they decide to buy up here, then it could get dangerous if they lose this one for sure. Into the final round, they would have a very weak buy.
I think if I was Spirit, I'd just force at this point. You're so far behind that probably gives you the best chance of winning. But they decide to just go for pistols and play for a 7-round win streak, assuming they don't win with the pistols here, which is less than likely. Into round 23 we go. I guess against the 2 AWPs, maybe there's a chance you could catch them off guard, but it's going to be quite difficult to get up close, especially with Tau playing back on the site. And Snatchy with his AWP is playing towards A long, so he could get overwhelmed. But that looks like it might not be too important because the kill's already coming in. PHR will find the frag back towards A. He's going to go for a further peek. Spots the man, but doesn't get the kill. So a man advantage, although STY has recovered 1 rifle, which could make a difference. Just as I say that, though, PHR mops it up. All 3 kills. And STY might find another frag, but certainly not the round win.
Yeah, he's going to be able to at least take that 1 more headshot on towards Furlan, but a minute remains at least. That is the small positive you can see right now, that he has the time to work with, but his position, it was known, and he's very limited in terms of where he can actually try and reapproach from. So right now he will be looking to try and come from the balcony. Snatchy with the op, of course, is going to be posted up towards this position, and he's waiting to see if this player decides to cross any of these angles, but he could perhaps even get caught off guard. He hears the steps though, and he will be able to find that kill for himself as AGO get themselves up to map point, and it's looking extremely likely now that we may be heading on towards the final map. But Spirit, of course, they want to have something to say against that. They will have 1 last attempt at a buy, and if this doesn't work out, then we will indeed be heading on towards the final map.
And the last map would be Mirage, which I still think should be pretty favoured for Ago. But that's yet to be seen. We're still going to have to play that one out. And we're still going to have to make sure Ago win this map first. We do again have the double AWPs on their side of things. See a couple of players thinking of going aggressive on the Spirit side. Doesn't look like they're going to go for any real aggression to start the round, with Bomb being left behind. Certainly doesn't seem likely, although SDY has made his way down drop. Considering he's alone, this is a bit of a risk, but he has the smoke at his back. In the meantime, though, it's Snatchy out towards A-Long to get the first with the AWP. He has the smoke deployed, so he can fall back, but he's sticking around in the midst of the smoke. Very dangerous, and now Snatchy tries to fall back, but the boost gets Davkos the kill in reply. Into a 4-on-4, but Furlan wins a fight elsewhere to keep the man advantage for Ago.
Yeah, and they'll be happy with those trades, able to put themselves into a 4-on-3. And actually, at the moment, it seems like they have made the correct decision to gamble at the rather leave 2 players over towards the A-bomb site. And there you go, PHR finds himself a headshot onto Davkos, leaving only Sotvik and Demon out to try and save this map for their team. And I don't think it's looking so likely, especially as Furlan is able to just creep into drop room and find an amazing headshot. So Groovy, with him being able to close that out, we will now be heading back to the analyst desk to discuss this map and also what's going to happen on the upcoming one.
Ago saying what they have on Cobble, managing to win 16-8 and stood their ground. It was their pick, so convincing win for Ago, and they will bring us to a third map in this best of 3 final match of the day. Congrats to them, amazing, definitely amazing win. Even though I think from the start they were leading quite convincingly, Team Spirit didn't really have that freedom as they did on Inferno. Ago didn't give them picks from the start of the round, so they play with a man disadvantage on their city side. But Danny, was it all Ago, or did you, for example, assume that maybe Spirit can grab a few rounds here and there, reset Ago, and get a couple of rounds rolling on the board?
Yeah, they tried to go really fast. Played really aggressive towards B side, but Ago was that team that really likes to play on cobblestone. It's one of their better maps. So whenever they tried to go really fast on B side to enter, to get that plant, they got shut down. So basically that's it for Team Spirit. And Sam Dai Young, who was top fragging on the previous map, almost having 30 kills, if not over. So this game he had only 8. But in Ago team, everyone stepped up who was a bit underwhelming on the previous map on Inferno, like Twao, like Snatchy. But I mean, Gruby did an amazing job. He had quite a great performance, having 21 kill and managed to die only 10 rounds. So I was expecting Ago to win on this map.
Yeah, 2.1 KD ratio for Gruby. Hogar, from Team Spirit's perspective, what do you think went wrong for them on their T side? I saw a couple of players playing really aggressive behind the smokes with AWPs, trying to get picked. That's really cocky, some would say, in that position, but they were leading with quite a margin. Is that confidence coming back to Ago, and now they're trying to break Spirit mentally?
I guess, I mean, the thing that decided maybe the match is the forced buy from Team Spirits, and they planted on A side. They had 2 versus 1. And I think Furlan did a great job to, clutching that round. And after that, they got more. How to say that? They, as you said, they got cocky and they were picking everywhere. I mean, they were one every duel they got. So basically, Team Spirit just need to focus now on the next map and start aiming, and that's it.
Yeah, we'll see Mirage once again.
Yeah.
So that map will decide who will go through between these 2 teams. Hopefully we see great match. We are going for a short commercial break. When we come back, it's third map between Team Spirit and Ago, so stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Farmskins Championship Season 2, also a qualifier for IEM Katowice. 16 teams will fight their way through groups, GSL format group stage, and 4 of them will advance forward to playoff bracket, which they will play with already four invited teams for that one spot at IEM. I'm Rema and I will be your host. Together with me, Danny and Hogar. We are ready to finish that third map and final map of the day between Ego and Spirit. It's Mirage, Decider, a map we already saw in the second match of the day. Also a pretty standard map. I don't think we can actually expect something huge. We saw that Alternate were able to pretty much close that Mirage down from the first half, winning 12-3. Maybe good start can help either Spirit and Ego. We saw that Spirit can actually frag, especially Sam Dayang on the other side when Tuao wakes up together with Furlan and Group B and everyone else steps up for Ego. Ego is a pretty scary team. So now when it comes to Decider, Danny, who do you give an edge? We saw Spirit winning in overtime. We saw Ego winning, not in overtime, 16-8.
Yeah.
And now third map.
I think Mirage favorites Ego the most here. So I don't want to say it's one of their... It's not their best map, but maybe their second best map. So I think they're gonna take this one pretty easily.
Yeah, one of the better maps for Ego. So Hogar, you were rooting for Spirit.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they fell short against Ego on Cobble. Now coming into Mirage.
It's one map. I mean, Mirage. Every team, every player knows how to play. So I think it will be pretty. I think it's a fair way to finish this qualifier for the both teams. It's like final of the group. It goes to the third map. I think they all have same chance.
Yeah, of course. As we mentioned, as Hogar mentioned just now, winner of this match will go to that playoff bracket that will be single elimination. Teams waiting there are Fnatic, Big Hellraisers, and
Gambit.
Gambit. I just wanted to test you.
Okay.
To see if you are listening. Of course, predictions, gentlemen.
16-7 for Ego.
In overtime, Spirit will win.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I don't want to sleep either, seems like. So we're ready to go for a third map. Hogar says overtime, so let's see that overtime between Spirit and Ego. Dean and Hoka, take us away.
Thank you, guys, and everyone. Welcome to the final map of the night, and of course, the final map of the Group A Decider, as it is AGO against Team Spirit coming up now on Mirage, and it should be a very intense game. I think AGO are going to be able to edge this one. I think it will perhaps be a small bit closer than Cobblestone was, and I think we should see Team Spirit just about reaching the double digits. So I'm predicting about a 16-10, maybe 16-11 a scoreline in favour of AGO.
Yeah, I was going to say about the same. I was going to say 16-9, 16-10 seems about right. I feel like Ego are really strong on this map, and even though Spirit are pretty good on Mirage, I just feel like Ego should be able to take this one over the line. But that is yet to be seen. The game has to be played out as always. Remember, the winner of this matchup will be our first team to qualify out of these groups. And as Rema was so kindly pointing out, there are also the 4 invited teams. Fnatic in there, Gambit in there, some really good lineups. So it's not going to be easy on the road to Katowice. But of course, Ego and Spirit will both want to be there. A big, big tournament. They're going to have to get some upset wins, but that's what it's all about. That's what you got to do. You got to prove yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I believe we just had a small server issue, so it has been restarted, but we should be live within the next minute or so. So for the moment, we'll just continue on discussing this game, and I think what Spirit really need now is for their players to step up. Sumda Young, I think, he's not really the star player of the team, but he is usually that player who's able to back the stars up and really do a very good job as kind of just being the third place player. And I think in the last couple of games, he hasn't really had the best performances, and that's kind of what they've been lacking. I think if Spirit are to have a chance to win this map, it's going to be up to Sumda Young, and also Coldy is another player who really can take over a game by himself.
Yeah, certainly. I think Sam Young has given this Spirit side a lot more a lot more of a chance to have the firepower they needed, because it always felt to me like before this, they really did struggle to actually get the fraggers necessary. So even if Sumdai Young is still a young guy, I guess you could say, he certainly provides a lot for this team, and I think he makes them much more competitive just generally on the international scale. And I think that's been proven. They've performed pretty well throughout this tournament so far, and they're only one map away from making it through, so certainly could still be happening for them. But Ago stand in their way, and as most of us predicted Ago to win, I think it's fair to say, are favourites into this one. So Spirit still got to overcome Ago, which is going to be tough, but let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, certainly. We should be getting into this now just any moment. I'm waiting on the players to all rejoin up the server and just type ready there into the chat, which they have now done. So we will be getting live. We will be getting to find out how this is going to go, and I believe it will be just going live with the knife round now. Am I correct? Yeah, there we go. It is indeed the knife round going live. So we have yet to decide which team is going to begin on the CT side and which team is going to begin on the terrorist side, but we should be finding out now any moment.
Yeah, I don't think it's massively important which side either team starts on, but it's always nice to get to pick as we head underway into the final map of the day. It's getting pretty late in the day, but they have one more match to play, and I'm sure both teams will be fully focused on this upcoming match. And there we go, Spirit get to pick their side, and they will choose to switch to CT. So let's see what the pistol round entails. As I so often say, generally you will see CT teams play only one player onto A quite a lot of the time, and certainly play very passively on the A site. So it's always, in my opinion, a decent option to just go for the push out towards A on the T side. Most of the time you'll be able to get the bomb plant at the very least. And let's see if A go follow my advice. It doesn't look like they will, as they go more towards B to start the round.
Yeah, for some reason, the professional players not listening to us casters, even though we clearly know what we're talking about. But yeah, it is going to be AGO grouping up in the B apartments mostly. They will actually send the player to run their pass, which, if they were to try and go back and actually hit this A-bomb site, it could be the correct decision. We can see right now a very solid setup coming in by Team Spirit. They're going to be playing a bait and switch. They have one player ready to just jump peek and get the info. They have two players up on the balcony, and STY is going to be the first player to find contact in just a moment, or at least up close range. As Furlan with the Glock will be able to find that first. May not expect another player in this position, and there you go. Coldy able to find himself one kill. Will be able to shut down Tau, as it's all onto Groovy. He is now the last man alone in a 1-on-3, and that lurk that he was going for, it's just a little bit too late to really have the impact that he was hoping it would. Sees that in hand, and now he has nothing to work with. Dima able to hit that crispy one-tap and close it out, as Spirit pick up a very important pistol round.
Yeah, really cool setup. As you were saying, they wouldn't expect Coldy to be in that corner, so he got 2 easy kills after the first player went down, and that really allowed the rest of Spirit to also hold off on the site. So Ago, not listening to my advice, and they get punished for it. They should have gone to A. I was telling them the whole time. They should have listened to me. Either way, round 2, just going to be the pistols for Ago. And this time around, the bomb is going to be out towards Palace. Apparently, only Coldy is committed to the A bomb site. So if the fake was good enough, maybe there's a chance for a bomb plant. I assume that's what would be in mind for Ago. But with these nades, there is always the option to just go back towards A and go for a full-on execute. So still plenty of time for Ago to decide what they want to do. It looks as though they are now going to reposition a couple of players. One smoke does go over the top. I don't think that will cause much of a rotation, but you can see Ago, as they go back towards A, might find some success because Sophic is pushing up mid and he might be caught in the back. Indeed he is. A 1-for-1 trade, but PHR gets another kill, and Davkos tries to jump out of window. A very curious decision, and it costs him his life. The Spirit's stuck in a 2v3 now, thanks to that Coldy kill.
Yeah, Coldy desperately trying to bring this back from the mistakes his teammates just made, and they actually will be able to do so. Coldy flicks around to find Groovy, and luckily enough, Sumda Young from Short was able to give him support and save him from that player that was coming from Connector. So it is going to be eventually Team Spirit being able to bring that round back in their favour, but as you mentioned, very questionable decision by Davkos to jump out of the window. Not really needed at all. Very, 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 very strange is really the only way to phrase that. But yeah, eventually they win that round. It is costly, of course, but AGO, after fully investing into that one, they will be in this one only working with a couple upgraded pistols, or rather just a single one onto Snatchy, so mostly just Glocks into this round. Shouldn't really see Spirit struggling too much to take this one.
Yeah, I don't think the Glock train will be finding any real frags to speak of. SDY going to spot out one. The nade, alongside a second nade, do decent damage. Davkos only has the USP, so he could struggle. But he is going to spot them out and does eventually get the headshot he was looking for. Should also have some assistance. Indeed, SDY are going to find a kill. Coldy also chimes in. And there we go. Davkos going to get all 3 frags. Really nice final shot onto the jumping player. And he has started off pretty strong here, alongside Coldy up there at 6 kills and 0 deaths. But that could be tested now, because Ago have the AKs in hand.
Yeah, this is where AGO now need to try and get themselves some rounds onto the board. They have been able to keep the economy of Spirit quite low, so if they're able to pick one up, it could be a bit of a weaker buy coming into the following round for Team Spirit. So AGO now, let's see what they're going to be able to get done. Looks like they will be focusing most of their presence over towards middle, trying to get control towards this position, and it's actually working out well so far. Tao able to get one, doesn't quite finish off Dima, who will now be able to escape back with receiving a bit more damage even by the nade. They'll still remain alive with 24 points of HP, and there we go, another nade comes in. Sotvik this time is going to be able to take down Furlan. PHR, of course, with that boost into window. He comes in from behind to take down Sotvik, but a flank of his own is going to be perhaps taking him down. Dima from behind will be traded out by Groovy, and now it's all onto Sumda Young, the newcomer to the lineup, left in a 1-on-2 to try and clutch this one out. And AGO still have a lot of time to work with, well over a minute.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say SDY has already proved himself in this team. But this would go a long way to convincing his teammates even more that he is worthy of being in this Spirit roster. Having said that, he's taking a bit of a risk to go out towards mid. I don't think it's going to pay off for him. Unfortunately, seems like he's going to have to concede the A site. We'll now come back towards mid. So if the timing was right, he might have been able to spot them out. But you can see Ago playing it very, very patiently, waiting to see if SDY overextends. Not a bad idea, to be honest, because SDY needs the information, so he could have gone for a peek. Instead, he's going to hold this off angle towards mid, and this could be good for a frag. Peek comes in, SDY nearly gets a chance for a kill. But doesn't quite connect with the shots he needed to, so now they know where he is. And actually, SDY just took some full damage after missing that jump. That forces him to go in through connector. And that means that Ago are going to have a pretty good idea of where he is coming from. Here comes SDY looking for some sort of headshot, some sort of kill. But Ago playing it very, very safe. As soon as one player is spotted, the second should be able to peek out as well. So I'm expecting this one to go the way of Ago, and it looks like it will. SDY, though, gets one frag, but he has to go to the Glock.
Oh my god.
The burst fire comes out. He's got time. How has he won that? The Glock,
no idea.
of all things. Beautiful.
I feel like that was definitely a mistake, though. I don't really feel like that peak on Palace just wasn't really needed, in my opinion. With how low the time was, they only really gave him the opening to the round. So definitely a mistake by AGO. You can see the pause is going to be called by Furlan, and I presume at this point that's going to be tactical, because after losing the round like that, the mentality in the team may be a little bit damaged. You might want to try and discuss over that now and make sure that they can bring themselves back into this, try and mentally reset themselves. But of course, at least getting the bomb plant means they can buy again into this one, but they won't have the op. They'll have very little utility. And on the other hand, Spirit, even while only surviving with one player, due to having some bank built up, they'll still have everything they need. Op, utility, every single bit of utility that they would actually want, they do have available. So coming into this round, it is going to be still very important for AGO now to try and get something done.
Well, Ago probably felt like they should have won that previous round, but they're going to have to just focus on round 5 instead. You can see their utility again looking fairly lackluster. Looks like we are going to see them line up a couple of smokes out towards A. With Ago also gaining some presence towards mid. They might go for the split, but Dima in a great off angle gets an easy entry. That prompts the peek from Snatchy, but Davkos takes advantage of that and gets a fairly easy frag. So Spirit, oh, Davkos gets another kill, this time through the smoke. And Grubby now has to take the site, and he does get 2 kills in doing so. The A site is now open, but with Grubby being by himself, he doesn't want to take that risk of losing the bomb, so he has to fall back and play from the 2-on-3.
Yeah, amazing shots there by Davkos, though. That second one especially through the smoke. But still, AGO in a position where they could perhaps bring this back. A 2-on-3 is definitely winnable, and it looks like they will be actually making the decision to bring their way back through the B apartments, look to try and overwhelm the player on this B bomb site, and that is going to be Dima. Still has basically full utility to work with. Molotov smoke and a flash is going to be available to try and delay this push. The question is, will AGO actually telegraph that they're going to be coming in from this position? Will they make it obvious, or will they just try and contact up and catch him off by surprise? And it looks like it will be the latter. Dima, though, he's in a good position to at least get one kill. Will be able to, for the moment, at least stay alive. But Groovy eventually successfully finding the trade will give himself an opening now to at least get the bomb down, get that extra economy for his team on top of that loss bonus. But it looks like he's playing for the win. He's going to be faking it, hoping to try and force some 1v1s. But as we can see, Spirit, aware of the time, playing this safe, sticking together, will eventually get the bomb down now, as he is going to be in a pretty decent position now, actually. I think he's aware that both players are in the kitchen, and pushing up close towards this window perhaps could get both of them as they push out. But then again, Sunda Young and Davcost ensuring that they're going to be pushing out together, looking to try and pick up this trade. Ruby holding a bit of an off angle, may be able to catch them off guard, gets the first, and he doesn't find the second. It was looking so close, but Sunda Young, 8 points of HP, once again successfully picking up the clutch. The snatch around from the hands of AGO.
Another incredibly close round, though. And that will lead to AGO yet again going for the force. They're not necessarily getting the best of buys together, but they're making them very competitive. So they are going to go for another force buy. And they are also going to have at least some nades alongside the AKs. And here we go into round number 6. Spirit again holding pretty much as you would expect, although Tao is pushing straight up mid. And that is a very weird decision again. He gives away his life. Although in the meantime, the rest of AGO are going to work towards A, and Furlan gets a very quick entry. This might be the kill that AGO needed, because now they have the A site all to themselves.
Yeah, finally AGO going to have some success in trying to find his opening kills, and it's over towards the A-bomb site with Furlan and Groovy being able to pick up one each. And because of that now, bomb is going to be planted. They're in a good situation with a 4 versus 3 after plant. And Team Spirit at the moment, they don't really have too much economy in the bank. So if they don't find a kill fast, save is something they should be contemplating. But for the moment at least, they will continue to move forward. Utility available, and the smoke will go down on top of the bomb. This could get dangerous. Furlan though, hits another great headshot. Davcost and Dima though, they will be returning. Davcost in a 1-on-2 hits the no-scope. He doesn't have a kick currently. He's looking to try and retrieve one to try and hop on the bomb, but yet to find it. I think this should be the round now in favour of AGO, and there we go. Furlan, he locks it down with another kill.
Yeah, you could certainly feel that coming for AGO, couldn't you? They get the round they needed, and it also breaks Spirit's economy. So I think it's fair enough, considering how many of those rounds were so close, that AGO get themselves 1 or 2 more rounds off the back of that. And it looks like that should be the case, because Spirit only have a very, very tiny investment. It's actually just Davcost with the 1 CZ in hand. SDY out towards mid, only with a USP. They are going to go pushing, and oh, Snatchy gets caught off guard. Sophic is going to get that AK into his hands. Fortunately for Spirit, though, the cost of that is losing the B site. So the bomb will go down. Sophic is going to try and force something with the AK, but the timing not quite right. And that allows Grubby to hold the angle and get the frag. But the AK is still in their possession.
Yeah, they have at least been able to retrieve that for Coldy. The economy of the CT side, it's actually not perfect. Dima is looking a little bit low on economy, as is Sotfik. So saving that AK may be something they could do. Let the rest of the pistols just try and maybe retrieve at least 1 more weapon. At least, if not possible, then just try and drop some. Keep them close to the bomb site, get some damage done, and hope that the bomb will maybe even finish them off. But for now, AGO looking to try and clear out a position for them all to try and exit. And it looks like Kitchen will be the choice, and Davcost up close could maybe take 1 or 2 kills out of this. Let's see if that's going to be possible. Tao checks the angle. Doesn't matter though. Davcost wins that first battle. He's going to be able to take down Furlan, and the damage is being done as Groovy will eventually find that trade successfully. But once again, it's the pistol to come out on top, as only 1 player will survive for AGO in the end. So really good damage front by Spirit, getting 4 kills and also being able to retrieve an AK.
Yeah, that keeps this game very much in the balance. You can see AGO, speaking of balance, have very little on their bank balance right now. Just $800. No, even that's invested. So literally about $300 between them. Not the best. Whereas Spirit have a little bit more money in the bank, surprisingly enough. So the loser of this round will almost certainly be down to 1 eco. So it's almost like this round counts for 2, unless those pistols can do something, which we have seen throughout this series, so don't count anything out. That nade is so well timed. Furlan down to 40 HP. Not the best start to the push, but they're going to continue to funnel through. And Tao does get that entry there. SDY caught out. Kill comes back from Dima, but he gets isolated. So it's back to a 3v3, even with Sotfik having rotated quickly. The bomb should still be planted for short, and Ago in some pretty good post-plant positions.
Yeah, especially with his HP, but Snatchy, he hits a great shot there onto Sotfik to take down one player and put the advantage in favour of the Polish side. But Davkos still looking to try and go for this, especially with Coldy being able to find one kill on Snatchy. But it is now going to be all onto Coldy in a 1-on-2. And with both of these players being low HP, it was sort of a winnable situation. But without a defuse kit, and with the bomb already ticking away quite fast, he does just decide to back off and allow AGO to take this round. And as you mentioned, it basically counts for 2, because likely in this following one, Spirit going to be working with only pistols other than that rifle that may be saved.
I feel like Coldy should have got that kill, but never mind. The AWP will be saved from PHR. Tao also gets to save his AK. So Ago will get something into this round still. Of course, with the round win, they get to hold on to 2 guns. Mainly the AWP is the thing they were looking to save, but you can see, unfortunately for Spirit, 1 gun being saved is not enough. Coldy with the AK will not prompt the force buy for the team, so he's the only one with a rifle. Let's see what he can do. He's currently over towards B. Gonna have to try and play around him, and you can see SDY is just gonna jump up. Doesn't feel like Coldy's gonna find too much unless the B push comes in, but Sotfik pushing up towards top mid might be caught out here because there's plenty of players on the other side, one of them being Tao, and the timing is just right for him to get that opening. You can see Coldy felt like he had to make a play with that AK. So as they push out through B apps, the kills all come in favor of Ago, and they will look to take finally a clean round win so that they can just about build up some money, which had been an issue for them up until this point.
Yeah, but a nice job by AGO over the past 4 rounds, been able to compose themselves after getting off to a bad start on this final map. So definitely bringing themselves back into this, allowing themselves to try and build up a pretty decent D-side half. And now Spirit, once they get back onto display, it looks like they will be immediately going for this double op setup. Sunday Young actually going to be the secondary upper, which is interesting. I'm not sure if he's normally the player that picks it up. But for the moment, it looks like we will see AGO just splitting up for a fairly standard default. The focus will, as always, be mid-control. One player making his way fast down towards Connector, and actually it will be Dima to find that opening kill from short, able to take down Tao, and also Davkos with the off. He wins the battle in towards Palace. So early on, AGO, their aggression has been completely shut down by counter-aggression by the CT side.
Yeah, and that's something you can certainly see much more often on Mirage. The CTs going for aggression. If anything, it's almost a staple of most CT sides to go for at least some sort of aggression to gain some sort of info. And this time it works out not only for the information, but also for the frags. Berlin currently in towards underpass, while the rest of his team are out towards A. Although when I say the rest of his team, it's only PHR and Snatchy, so only 2 teammates left for him. They are going to work their way out towards A. PHR has walked through a ramp smoke. With Furlan being in towards Connector, he could make the difference. Indeed, he does get that kill at the right time. Coldy is still under Palace, and there's a smoke deployed to maybe catch him out, but no, he's not going to be getting a single kill. Ago get themselves back into a 2v2 now, and Furlan gets another frag. Where did these kills come from? It's back to a 1-on-1 as Furlan does blind SDY. He doesn't quite get the kill. Nade over the top, though, should do damage, but it just lands the wrong side of the box. A very nervy 1-on-1, but SDY holds the angle with the AWP and gives Spirit their 6th.
That was a very intense 1-versus-1 and just a very intense round overall. I'm not going to lie, I was clenching. I was I was on the edge of my seat. It was, in the end, going in favour of Team Spirit. But the problem is, living with one player, AGO, as you mentioned, they had finally been able to get themselves a clean round. Finally able to build themselves up a decent economy. And that allows them in this round to have everything they still want to work with other than the op. And for Spirit, thanks to only living with the one player, as we can see, they will be relegated to some weaker weaponry. They have 2 FAMASs, they have a UMP. But of course, still having the op and the M4 is a positive. And a decent amount of utility also, I guess, but it looks like AGO may be making a bit of a change, and that adaptation seems to be a bit of a faster paced play over towards the B-bomb site, which at the moment is completely given up by the CT side.
Yeah, Davkos not playing on the site, but he is at least in kitchen with the AWP, so he should be able to get 1 kill before the push comes in, but even that is not guaranteed, depending on how well the nades are deployed. We are going to see the push seemingly come in, but Snatchy is not with the rest of the team. And the bomb is also not quite following suit just yet, and with good reason, because these nades have drawn a heavy rotation from Spirit. You can see the Poles now realizing they might not want to commit to the B play, but just as I say there was a heavy rotation, now Spirit realize it's not necessarily a B play. Now they rotate off, and the mind games are on point for Ago. They do go for the B play. Furlan going to go in first, gets a quick entry, and Davkos could be in trouble. Having to hold close means the trade comes out quickly. And Ago managed to take the B site. Just putting those smokes out early and then going for the push a little later seemed to really catch Spirit out, and now they're stuck in a 2v3.
Yeah, and it's looking like AGO may be able to successfully come in with that reset that I was mentioning at the beginning of this round, and how big of a factor it could be if AGO were to instantly take a round back themselves. And it's definitely happened now. SDY already just going to be beginning to back off and try and save this M4, but it seems like AGO are going to hunt. They know how weak the economy is for Spirit, and Snatchy, what is that shot? Somehow gets the wall bang. I think it may have just been slightly through the edge of the triple box, but there we go. AGO able to get themselves up to 5. As you can see, the economy now for Team Spirit is looking... It's an absolute shambles, I guess is the best way to put it. We can see 3 players on $1,400. 2 of those do have an extra 50 than 1,400, but still roughly the same. Not really going to affect that buy all too much. And I think because of that, they are going to be fully invested into this one.
Well, Sophic certainly is. He's got literally $0 left, so you'd expect the rest of the team to back him up. Davkos does have a little extra money, so if he wanted to get an AWP into an upcoming round, he could go for an eco here. But to be honest, there's not that many more chances left to get an AWP. We're already into round 12. And a double eco at this point would be pretty brutal. You'd only really get 1 or 2 more buys left. So you can see Spirit still thinking about if they all want to go for the Force. I certainly would expect them to do so, but it's not guaranteed just yet. It's just going to be on the Ago side of things, the 1 Mac 10 in Furlan. So they clearly think it's quite likely to be a weak buy. They clearly are aware of that. So we'll wait to see how Ago decide to play against what they predict will be a low buy. But yeah, it shouldn't really be too difficult for Ago. Even if it's a force buy, I don't think Spirit will have too much of a chance of winning it, considering how these recent rounds have gone.
Yeah, I think AGO should be able to just roll over this one. I don't know if they are going to fully invest yet. I presume they will, considering they already invested into one of those players who was double eco, and yeah, there we go. Finally, the rest of them will purchase up. Davkos doesn't really seem like he's saving for the op either, as you mentioned. There's not really too many rounds to work with, but it still perhaps could have been the best decision. But seems like he wants to see what he can get done with the Mag 7 instead. But coming into this one, AGO, they should be aware that they could potentially be up against the Force buy, and even with that Mag 10 Furlan, he's still going to be in a position where he can get a lot of damage done, since none of these players have head armor. And right now, towards middle, AGO just looking to try and take some control.
Yeah, I guess if Davkos gets a kill or two, the kill reward on that shotgun is very, very high. I think you get $900. So that could be giving him the option to get the AWP, but you don't want to have to rely on that to be able to afford you that AWP. So let's hope for his sake he can get 1 or 2 kills. Otherwise, it's going to just be a rifle for him into the future. We are going to see Spirit, though, stack the A site. Ago are kind of probing across the map to try and spot out if there is any defense over towards mid, and for the time being, there is no presence there. So Ago will spot that out, but it looks like they're not really going to look towards B. They're just going to look straight out towards the A site. And Furlan is in connector. The Mac 10 does get that initial kill. Sophic up close will get the trade, but it's only a Mac 10 recovered. Not exactly what he was looking for, but Coldy will get himself an AK. And if Ago filter through this smoke, they could be in real trouble now.
Yeah, this could be very dangerous, but Groovy, he receives the dink first, taken down low. Davkos up close with the Mag 7, goes for the peek along with the flash and will be able to take down Snatchy, as now AGO this round beginning to fall apart. Tau and Groovy, the last 2 players remaining. Tau able to find that opening kill at least. Just take down Davkos, but still, HP not looking quite amazing on his teammate, and the time is getting extremely low. They are going to be forced towards this A bomb site, and Coldy with the AK, he shuts down Tau. That should now be the round in favour of Team Spirit, and they're able to pull it off with a very weak buy.
That's an unfortunate loss for Ago there. Seemed like they were going to go across the map and look to see if there was a stack, but then they just seemed focused on the A site. And as soon as that happened, it meant that Spirit had a much, much higher chance of success. Particularly Coldy managed to get that 1 kill that made quite a big difference. And then just a fairly standard flash into A ramp, but it worked really well for Davkost. You can see Davkost doesn't need to buy the AWP because he's going to have Aego's AWP in his hands. In the meantime, on the Aego's side of things, despite Grubby saving, they don't go for the force buy. So they're going to have the 1 AK alongside a couple of pistols with a few more nades to work with. You can see PHR does have a Deeg, so he's going to look to work out towards mid, but Aego, not dissuade from the previous round, still look to go towards the A site.
Yeah, and this time they probably should have a bit of a better chance trying to take it over. Coldy with the AK, of course, is going to be the main defender playing from the triple position. Nice usage of utility to try and delay them. But PHR with the Deagle will be the player to open it up as he also finds a second on towards Sotvik. Able to find 2 kills as he comes up connector, opening up this bomb site completely. It should be the bomb at least gone down now for AGO, and in a 5-on-3 Team Spirit, this is going to be a very difficult retake as let's see what they're going to be able to get done. We do see Dima coming in from connector. 2 players just waiting on the other side of this connector position for him, and that could really get dangerous. But Davkost hits a great shot on the PHR, will be able to support his teammate, but he won't find the kill before Forlin is able to take down Dima. And now in a 2-on-3, let's see what's going to happen for Spirit, as this retake's still going to be extremely difficult. And Sundai Young finally trying to come in from the CT spawn, but I think they've given up on this now.
Yeah, not too interested in the retake. So Aego, mainly thanks to PHR's 2 entries, going to get themselves their 6th round. It's been a bit of a back and forth game in these recent rounds. Neither side really able to string rounds together, as Tao even gets that final kill. He doesn't get to save the rifle he dropped, but it just means that Spirit have a much, much worse buy. And let's hope that this time around, Aego do try and spot out if there is a stack somewhere, because Spirit again have a weak buy, but it looks like they're not going to go for the stack this time around. 1 Famas on towards Coldy, the main sort of weaponry on the CT side. And Aego, again, look pretty similarly set up to that previous round where they went for the A split, and this time around, it would be a good call with a bit of a stack towards B.
Yeah, and it's just at the moment neither team taking full control of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Spirit being able to pull this off once again, but AGO this time will be grouping up towards middle with 3 players. They've managed to creep their way up through short, but they don't really have the option for the B split, and that's probably for the best, because at the moment it is a full stack, or at least mostly a full stack. There was 4 players over in the B bomb site. We have seen 1 player at least begin to rotate back, and with Sotvik spotting a player out on ramp, that could cause the rotate to come back in the direction of A. As the bomb now regrouping will be making its way back through T-spawn. Nice opening find by PHR, able to catch the aggressive push by Sotvik. And now the A-bomb site completely up for the taking, but AGO at the moment have yet to make a decision about where they want to go with this.
Yeah, they still could go back towards A, especially with PHR being in towards Palace. And that looks like it may be the case. Grubby is now in towards Connector. So good read this time around. Tao is just going to spot out towards B, though, with the AWP. He's going to see if he can spot any opponents, and if he catches Davkost, he will now know it's at least 1 player on towards B, but Davkost manages to overwhelm Tao, who didn't have the support. It was a little strange for Tao to be doing that with the AWP rather than an AK player, but it's still going to work fairly well nonetheless as the kills come through. And with 15 seconds left, the bomb will go down. So Spirit not going to win the round. I don't think they'll even get to save too much because Dima has been taken down. I guess Aego do need to recover that AWP, but it's not a massive consideration. We are going to head into the last round of the half, and they should have money, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. It's mainly Spirit's economy we have to look for.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really too big of a deal. Snatchy does have enough economy to drop the op over in the following round, and well, rather, Snatchy may even buy it up for himself, and drop the AK over the Tau. But yeah, Coldy, just looking to try and save it from Mass. It's not really the best weapon. It will be probably the heaviest firepower that they'll have available in this upcoming round. So that is just a testament to how weak the Spirit buy is going to be into this final round of the first half. As AGO, they're finally being able to chain a couple of rounds together, bring the scoreline to 7-7. And with the buy for Spirit, as I mentioned, being extremely weak, it's looking like AGO may be able to take themselves the lead on this T side before they swap over to the counter-terrorist side.
Certainly seems likely at this point into the 15th round. We are going to see Spirit again stack with a fair few players towards B. I think this is mainly because they can't really go for any mid presence though with what they have, unless they were going to push with multiple players. See them now making their way into the ladder room. Meanwhile, on the Aego side of things, I think they are likely aware that Spirits are still not in a great shape in terms of their money. You can see that reflected in the tactic here. They're just going to take things slowly and see if they can spot out any Spirit aggression, which hasn't come through just yet. PHR just going to be holding underpass, the rest of the team holding their positions, but Spirit, they're not going to go for too much aggression, sorry. Maybe Sotfik will push A ramp, but that's the one position Ago aren't really watching, so doesn't seem like we'll get too much action to start things off.
Yeah, but it seems like Spirit may be themselves going for a bit of aggression in towards the A ramp. Coldy and Sotfik that is pushing in, and they may have some opponents waiting for them. As you can see, Groovy going to be able to open that up with a headshot. Also, some connector control has been gained by AGO, so now it's a bad position for Coldy on the ramp. There's a bit of a predicament where he could be just completely sandwiched in now. Two players coming up connector. We do actually see Dima down towards the bottom of connector looking to try and get damage done as he finds one and a second. Will upgrade to the AK, and now in a 3-on-3. This could still go either way. Dima looking to try and hold down this A bomb site. Does have two players to try and stop from advancing, and he does so successfully up to the 4K, the ace. It's looking quite possible, and he finds a Dima. All 5 kills to allow Spirit to win out that half.
All right, then. I think that pretty much sums up that half, to be honest. We saw so many rounds like that where a team had a weaker buy, but they came out on top, sometimes due to mistakes, sometimes due to big plays, sometimes a mix of both. And I think that was what happened there with Dima finding the ace. But here we go into the second half. Still anyone's game. Although Ago, I think, will be pretty okay with that half. 7 rounds T-side Mirage, it's not too bad. And considering they got off to a 5-0 deficit, they did manage to come back from that quite well. And now on their CT side, if they can win this pistol round, I'm sure they will feel like they are in a great position to close this map.
Yeah, certainly. Sotfik going to be picking up a smoke along with 2 flashes, and interestingly enough, over an AGO, not a single player picking up a defuse kit, so they will be just opting to try and hit their shots in this upcoming round. And with a bit of an ace stack, this could be dangerous. The bomb making its way towards B. If we don't see Tao at least picking up a couple of kills, this B bomb site likely to be overrun. No defuse kit, and then the retake will be extremely difficult. But here we go. They will be spotted before being able to actually get any damage exchanged. Actually, rather, it will be now in favour of AGO, as Davkos brought down to 64, but still, they'll be really happy with being able to take over this bomb site. Should be just about to get planted, and CT's now trying to prepare for this retake. They don't really have a lot of time. They'll have to get a move on, as mentioned. The 10-second defuse, of course, will have to come in. Dima, he'll be the first player to try and take that contact in towards Kitchen, and actually it's Sotfik rather in the apartments. He shuts down the flank of Snatchy and Furlan. Team Spirit now looking extremely good into this round, as it's all onto PHR, and he will be dropped by Dima.
Very quick round to close the pistol for Spirit. They go straight on towards B, and Ago weren't really ready for that. So Spirit will be the team to get themselves up to double digits first, assuming they don't lose to this buy here, which includes 2 scouts on the CT side. If they could team up, get some chest shots together, that would be good, but I'm not expecting it. Tao and PHR not playing together. Tao on towards B, PHR towards mid, so won't be happening. The pistols could certainly capitalize from these scouts. Those 2 can work in unison to try and get some kills, depending on if the tags are landed. Unfortunately, I think Tao did miss that opening shot, so now he's forced to play a bit more passively. The rest of the CTs pretty much doing the same. Not really too much happening at the start of this round, apart from Sotfik getting into connector, but now he does take some damage early on, down to 35.
Yep, nice trade though. Dima going to be able to take down one after Snatchy found Sotfik, and there we go. Davcost also steps it up to drop Tao in towards short. So far, no success to be found by AGO on this force buy, other than that 1 kill. And with a 4-on-3 now, all we really have to see for Spirit is them just regrouping. The bomb, of course, still back towards the top of middle. CT is looking like they may be tempted to peek, but actually instead, it's going to be a rotate that's going to be put in towards the B-bomb site. Groovy, he will be grouping up with Furlan to try and hold down B, and that could be the correct decision. The bomb at the moment, it is just about to be retrieved. We will see where it's going to be taken by Coldy, and it looks like they may actually try and bring this up short in towards that B-bomb site. Coldy making some presence towards connector. Smoke goes down to restrict the view of the player on the A-bomb site. And now Davcost, he will be leading the charge. JK in play. Nice angle from Furlan though. Will find himself a quick headshot onto Davcost. And now 2 more players making their way up short. Let's see if they're going to be able to trade this out. But no, Groovy finds another onto STY. Eventually will be traded back. And now it's only PHR. As AGO looking like they will eventually concede this round. But PHR jumps out the window, finds the first, and he will eventually be taken down. Dima once again steps it up to clutch it out.
Yeah, only surviving on 25 HP, but the round win was the main aim for Spirits, because it means that Ago shouldn't really have much of an investment here. So Spirit feeling much more comfortable into this round. But certainly weren't feeling comfortable in that previous round. That was incredibly close, coming down to that final 1-on-1. And here we go, Spirit with a few of their MAC-10s going to go out towards mid. SDY, hungry for the eco kills. He can smell them from a mile away. And he is going to take down the first. Not quite going to get the second just yet. And in fact, the push comes in. I thought that he would have someone behind him there, but Snatchy able to get the kill and sneak away. Not before Davkos takes him down, though. So the MAC-10's getting a couple of entries, alongside the AKs now also chiming in. Only Tau left. He should go down. Just about. The spray comes in from Sotvik, and as expected, an 11-7 lead. But here comes the buy for Ago.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have enough for the op unless PHR decides to go for a glass cannon. And he's not usually the player that's known for the op, but he does go for it. So, yeah, let's see if it's a caster's curse, if it's going to be a bad thing, or will PHR step it up massively and be what AGO need now to get themselves onto the board on the CT side. But over on the other hand as well, it is going to be Davkos, of course, with the op. He has everything. He has the Kevlar. He has utility to back it up. And let's see what Spirit are going to be going for. As right now, it looks to be a fairly passive default. They aren't really going for any aggression, any map control. For the moment, they are just going to be holding to wait and see if anyone from AGO decides to push aggressively, especially up mid, as two players, or rather three players now do await. Smoke going out though, as they will finally look to try and get themselves some map control. And at the moment, the CTs, they are actually trying to contest this position from Connector. But they will eventually be forced back by a nice place Molotov.
Well, again, Spirit love the slow play on their T side. Well, at least they seem to favour it, and that's what has been happening in this round to start things off. They are holding on to a decent amount of their nades, whereas Ago have already had to use quite a few of theirs early, so they only have flashbangs left on the CT side, whereas Spirits have quite a few players still with plenty of nades left. Now comes the smoke from SDY, going deep into Connector. The bomb is currently positioned towards mid, very non-committal in terms of where the bomb is. However, with the player in towards Palace, the A-split seems more and more likely, especially as the Poles get their way into, or sorry, the Russians get their way in towards Connector. And Ago's A-hold is a little bit strange. They're holding from the site, which could be difficult, but PHR are going to get the first. There's a second kill. The AWP on the site doing all the damage, but Sotvik only gets one kill. I thought he got two there. But it's only the one frag, and now Coldy has to come in, and come in he will. He gets himself 3 kills, and the bomb should be planted just about. 7 seconds left. Oh no, Tau is coming. He's not going to get there in time, though. The kill comes in, but the bomb had already gone down. A 1 versus 1 now. Coldy is behind that box at the back. I think Tau's going to check the corner, and does flick up to the head. Such an intense round, but Ago again close it out.
Yeah, and this entire best of 3 series, in my opinion, has just come down to so many different clutch rounds from either team to actually pick up rounds. It's been a very, very entertaining game. I think this is definitely the best series so far today, and of course it is the last series, so it definitely will be taking that award, in my opinion, and we will be continuing on with the action, of course. With AGO picking that one up, they will be able to reduce this gap just a small amount. 3 rounds is all that's in the difference right now. As AGO buying into this one, it actually won't be amazing. Their economy looking like it will be forcing them to maybe go for a few weaker weapons.
Well, certainly some weaknesses in both sides' buys, but on the Spirit side, it's a much stronger buy, to be honest, with only having the 1 CZ in there. Ooh, that's a really nice nade, placed for the players that were lining up the smokes. And Spirit will still go for the full-on execute. The stairs smoke kind of failed there, but I think it will still be good enough. The push comes forward, Spirit looking to quickly overwhelm the A site. You don't see this too often from Spirit, and maybe this is why, because Snatchy has already got the first kill on the hold. No real trades coming in, though, and the bomb is going to attempt to be planted, but Furlan should stop that. Doesn't quite get the kill in time, but it is a free frag. So we go back to a 3v4. Spirit still have to hold this one off. There is a couple of kits on the Ago side as well, so a very doable retake.
Yeah, but look at this. The aggressive push by Davkos that plays a little bit of a bait and switch role. Coldy then from Palace is able to peek out and find himself 1. Forlan and Tau, though, doing a great job to bring it back rather. And now it's all onto Sotvik. And there you have it, Snatchy. He'll be able to find the final kill. Interestingly enough, Sotvik was actually damaged heavily up by a teammate. Not quite sure how that happened, but in the end, AGO able to get themselves another round. Bring it into only a 2-round difference now, as it's a 9 for AGO compared to the 11 of Spirit. And the economy of Spirit isn't really going to allow them to buy, so we should see double digits now for the Polish side.
Yeah, should be the case. See, they're just juggling around the weapons in CT spawn, eventually figuring out where they want them. On the Spirit side of things, they don't have such luxury because they don't really have any weapons. It's only pistols for them. Currently, Spirit going to be leaning a little bit more towards B, but it's early days yet in this round. Wouldn't expect them to necessarily go for the push there. It looks like they might try and group up for the mid presence, and with Snatchy holding with the AWP, if he were to get picked off, that could be a worry for Ago as, oh, he went for a jump there. Sure, he gets the information, but he could have had his face taken off if he wasn't careful. Either way, PHR will do that very thing to Spirit. A couple of kills come in. Gribby gets caught from 2 angles, but does eventually frag out. PHR making it look easy, gets the 3K. And there you go again, keeping this map very, very close.
My question is now, was I correct? Will AGO pick up the final 6, the next 6 rounds rather, to make my 16-11 scoreline correct, or will we see instead Spirit actually been able to take this one? That's the question. But yeah, coming into this one now, the bias for both sides is going to be quite strong. The op does come out for a Davkos. The only real negative is that he doesn't have the Kevlar to work with. But early on, he is going to be facing off towards middle, and some aggression coming in through underground will be caught off guard by Sockfic. Team Spirit in a good position now as they do find the opening kill. It's costly in terms of HP, but taking a 5-on-4, they will be happy with that. And if Snatchy posted up on this fallen angle towards ramp is in a very advanced position. Luckily enough for the moment, there's actually no one here for Team Spirit. So you won't really be able to find too much. And Spirit now with full control of middle.
Sophic is in towards Connector. With the smokes being up, this is a little bit awkward for both sides. See Furland is holding on the other side of the smoke, and Sophic dangerously low on health. He's on life support right now, just 12 HP. The single shot would finish him off. Snatchy spots him out and does snap to the body for the kill. 55 seconds left, and Spirit still very spread out across the map. They are going to have to make a decisive play shortly. With Gribby being pushed into A ramp, that's some pretty good information for Ago to work with. That's allowing them to stick 2 players committed to the B site. It looks like that information is good because Spirits are going to group up around B.
Yeah, but 2 players set up for AGO is going to be a very solid defense, and it looks like they may be taking a gamble. We see another player being sent over, or at least falling back more passively into the CT spawn. That was Snatchy. I'm going to flash gun out towards B now. He will begin to commit to that rotate Furlan. Notice there's a player coming up short. He's able to take that headshot, but he actually decides to overface there, in my opinion. And because of that, the trades do come back and forth. 2-on-2 now. The bomb will be getting planted. SDY trying to deny this player from actually being able to push out into the bomb site, and he will eventually be able to do so. As now it's only Groovy in a 1-on-2. As mentioned before, we've seen some amazing clutches so far in this game. Well, Groovy will be one of the players to pick those up, as now he does come in from shortest position. I believe it should be known, but Davkos still posted on Kitchen. Seems to be cautious, but with the Molotov going out now, there should be no doubts in his mind, as he does actually spot up Groovy for sure. SDY though taking a lot of damage, but Davkos with a nice pop flash will be able to re-peek and find himself that kill. So Spirit take themselves up to 12.
There you go, certainly still have the money for the buy, but that just makes this round all the more interesting. Both teams will be back with buys, although, there you go, not able to get the AWP. So Davkos could have free reign at those long-range engagements. Not sure he knows that, though, as Spirit grouping up around A to start things off. They're going to go for a very fast push straight up Connector. This could work really well. They're going to get caught out on the CT side as SDY goes in first. And again, he's been making quite a few impact plays. He's not necessarily leading the way in terms of frags, but kills like that make such a big difference. Those 2 entries win the round alone. With Spirit only being 3 rounds away after this win from getting through to the playoffs, every round at this point means so much.
Yeah, and the economy of AGO, it is looking completely broken. Of course, they are trying to save these 2 rifles to give themselves at least something to work with in the upcoming round, but I don't think they'll really be able to invest much to actually try and back these up. If they did go for the force play, I think that'd be a very questionable decision. I think most likely they will probably just allow Spirit up towards 14 and try and chain 6 together themselves on the CT side afterwards. But yeah, Spirit looking good right now. Reminder, this is the final map of the series. This is to decide who heads into the playoffs, as I believe the first team to qualify into the playoffs. I believe I'm correct, am I, Hawker?
Yeah.
Yeah, so both of these teams, of course. Yeah. AGO, they don't want to lose this one out. And as a Polish team, they of course want to be able to play in front of a home crowd. And right now, Spirit are putting up a great fight and showing that they deserve that spot just as much. Of course, they won't be quite there yet to qualifying. They will be just heading into the playoffs, but at least trying to keep themselves in this. I think AGO will play against someone else if they lose this one. Am I correct? It's not an elimination match.
I think it might be an elimination. I'm not 100% sure though.
I thought it was a. I don't know. Perhaps it is, but yeah.
I think only one team goes through from each group because there's 4 invited teams, but I'm not sure. We'll figure that one out later because this game is still being played out. Taiwan Furlan, with the 2 rifles, have already been taken down. Sotfik making it look easy, making mincemeat of Grubby. He's going to fall. Looks like Spirit are going to get their 14th. They are edging ever closer to winning this series. Sotfik going to clean it all up. Well, not quite. He doesn't clean up Snatchy, but Snatchy not going to get the rifle. Dima takes him down. And here we go. Another crucial buy this time for Ago. And another buy without an AWP for them by the looks of things.
Yeah, they aren't going to have enough. Groovy, he will also get the M4 out, of course, but utility-wise, it's not amazing. This time they decided to prioritise the rifles rather than prioritising getting all that extra utility, but they still have a decent amount of leads to work with. They have the smokes onto most players, as well as, I believe, 1 Molotov that has already been thrown out to delay any sort of fast A pushes. But yeah, it seems like Spirit, they will be going towards A, but it wasn't quite as fast as AGO may have been expecting. Instead, right now, they are going to be grouping up for the execute, and actually a really good position right now for AGO is they've made a real gamble. They left B alone, they went for the mid-aggression, and now they have all players in position to try and hold down this bomb site. Ruby, of course, for the moment will be smoked off, but he's looking to try and use this as a bit of a one-way, as his teammates also are going to be in position. Now the bomb is going to be getting planted. Groovy here's the bomb plant, uses the sound to try and spray down, but he will only be able to get some damage onto Sotfik. The kill yet to be found, and Groovy finally opens up with 1. Furlan also going to be able to take down another, but the kills, they're coming back in favour of Team Spirit, but that doesn't last for too long. And AGO now in a 3-on-1 should be shutting this down. And there you have it, AGO keep themselves in this. They do deny map point for Spirit and get themselves up towards 11.
It seems like Spirit wanted to get this over with quickly because they have rarely gone for these fast pushes, and now all of a sudden they go for a couple of them. Doesn't work out this time around though. Ago with the team ace. Everyone gets 1 frag, and they keep themselves in with a chance. Is going to be Spirit still with the buy into this 26th round, and both teams have little money in the bank. Spirit have some money, but Ago have very, very little. So again, such an important round, as is every round at this point. And PHR pushing through the Molotov to start the round. A little bit of a risk, but it's not going to cost him too much. Just down to 60 HP. And again, Ago just holding in a passive setup across the map. We haven't really seen Ago go for too much aggression. It doesn't look like that's going to change here. They're just going to hold on towards the sites.
Yeah, it definitely seems so. AGO, let's see if they're going to be able to chain some rounds together. That's the real question. They, of course, need to try and do so, otherwise their economy could be struggling and they don't really have room to work with to be reset at this point. So, a very crucial round for the Polish side, but at the moment, it is going to be Spirit just looking to try and regroup towards the middle, it seems. They are looking to try and get the control, or at least they were, as right now they will be delayed by a bit of presence being shown by the CT side, as they seem quite hesitant actually to begin to move out. There is 1 player in the window, of course, with the op, that is Snatchy. He's going to be posted up on this position, and at the moment he doesn't really want to overextend, doesn't want to give that opening over to Team Spirit, of course, would have been such a crucial round, as it looks like we could potentially be seeing a split towards this B bomb site. I believe that smoke there is to cover off the top of Connector, restrict the view of the upper from the A bomb site or any sort of rifles also that be playing that position. And here we go, Team Spirit looking to try and commit towards B. Tao up on the balcony, he could be in a really solid position, using his teammate as a sort of bait as he just jump peeks to get the info. Pop Flash also, of course, is prepared. And let's see who's going to be able to win out this battle early on towards the B bomb site, as the first kill is going to go in favour of Team Spirit. Demon will be taking down 1 player. Sotfik gets spotted out and he's extremely low HP. This could be dangerous, but he wins the fight either way. Takes down PHR, and it's looking good for Team Spirit right now as AGO in a 2-on-4. They will be backing off, and it should be map and serious point been found for Team Spirit.
Yeah, it looks like Ago's dreams of Katowice might be crumbling in front of them. Spirit going to get their 15th round, and this is somewhat surprising. I mean, Dima is up there at 27 kills. We were talking about him a little bit in the pre-game, or at least the analysts were. I wasn't expecting him to have this good of a performance, and that's really been spurring Spirit on. We are going to see Grubby get a couple of exit kills. That certainly could help if Ago can win some upcoming rounds, just in terms of keeping Spirit's economy low. But it's really Ago's money that we have to look at, because even with these 2 guns saved, It's not going to be a full buy, and it's all or nothing now. Ago need this round. And to be honest, they probably need one of these 3 players with the guns to step up, because you can see Tau and Furlan stuck with weakened weapons.
Yeah, but do at least have the op to work with. I want to see what stats he can get done. I'd like to see him go for an aggressive player early on, rather, to try and find that opening for his team to actually work with. As right now, it looks like he will be just taking that in towards the CT spawn, playing for this retake setup on the A-bomb site, trying to maybe find 1 or 2 kills before the bomb gets planted. But at the moment, Team Spirit, as always, just continuing on with a very passive round, going for a default, not really looking to try and get any map control, knowing that they're not really up against the strongest buy by AGO. I'm not sure if they're really aware of the level of buy it will be, which is actually pretty decent. But they should be expecting that at least they should be lacking something, maybe even utility if that's it. But of course, 1 minute and 10 seconds remain in Spirit. Eventually they're going to have to try and make a move to get something done, and the question is, what will they decide upon?
Yeah, again, I feel like Ago's CT side setup has been a little bit stale. I would have liked to see them go for a bit more aggression. Not necessarily, it doesn't even necessarily have to be with the AWP. It could be with one of the rifle players just getting flashed in for a peek, but it's so much more difficult to hold off when you don't have information, especially on Mirage, where there are so many options. If you concede mid control, then the T side can do a lot with that. We are going to see again Spirit's gain control towards mid with some smokes. Furlan looks to be sticking around, trying to see if he can get something done, but I don't think he's in quite the right position in towards ladder room. 28 seconds, Spirit. I mean, they're going to go towards B. Currently, the B site is pretty much wide open. Tau has come towards mid. This might be a strong fake from Spirit. You can see a couple of kills coming in, and the B site will now be claimed. Ago have to retake 3v4, and this is looking awful for their chances.
Yeah, not looking likely at all, but Groovy, he's able to find perhaps a bit of an over-aggressive push by Dima, who didn't really need to push in there. That gives an opening for the Polish side to work with to try and actually get this retake, but let's see if they're going to be able to do so. They have kits available. Groovy going to be, or rather, Furlan making his way up short, and he's actually going to be successfully able to find Coldy and Groovy. He takes down Sundai Young, so Dafcost is now going to be the last man standing, and it looks like AGO may be able to keep themselves alive, and I'd say that's on the back of a mistake by Dima. They're pushing into Kitchen.
We're not done yet, folks. Despite Spirit gaining control towards B, it's not enough for them. Grubby, in particular, stepping up on that retake. And there we go, 12 rounds on the board for Ago. However, it's still a buy for Spirit. Imagine if we ended the day with overtime. That is still an option. We could be here all through the night, depending on how these 3 upcoming rounds go. We are going to see Spirit lean heavily towards A again. We've seen them go for some fast A plays once or twice. They haven't really been successful. They're going to try and go back to it to see if they can maybe catch Ago off guard. To be fair, I don't think Ago would be expecting this fast-paced push, and here we go. The Russian team going to make their way forwards.
Yeah, great start by Snatchy though, gets himself 2 quick kills. Groovy going to be there to support as he looks to try and pick up 2 of his own, as it is only 1 player that remains, and Groovy will be successful. PHR of course also chimed in, but that is going to be AGO now reducing this gap to only 2 rounds. And Spirit, their economy not looking good, so likely a full eco going to be coming up in this one, and then they'll have 1 more chance to deny AGO from being able to actually bring this to overtime.
Did Spirit use any of their nades there? It just
don't
looked
think
like
so.
they ran out. Maybe they used a couple of flashes, but I'm pretty sure they had a decent amount of utility they just did not use. Made it really easy for Ago on the hold, and now Spirit only have 1 more round to play for. This isn't one of them. The Glocks in hand, not really going to do anything. PHR gets a couple of kills. Grubby also chimes in, and it's all going to be down to round 30. Well, we've been here before. Overtime a possibility. We'll have to see if it does come through, though. Sotfik with just a Glock isn't going to do anything. And we'll get to see what Spirit's buy is like for this last round. It should be good enough. Of course, Ago's buy isn't even questioned. They're going to have a perfect buy whatever happens, but Spirit might have some weaknesses. It should still be a full buy for both teams, though, which is what you want to see in such a pivotal round.
Yeah, it should be a pretty solid buy coming out for Spirit, of course, but at the moment, AGO beginning to build up some of that momentum we've seen in the past, well, 4 of the past 5 rounds now it will be after this one that have gone in favour of AGO, and they're just looking to, they've just been stepping it up really since they've had the economy to get everything they want on the CT side. So I'm a bit worried right now for Team Spirit. Only 1 round in the difference, as overtime is looking extremely likely. As PHR now should be able to shut this one down. Sotvik will be spotted, hoping for the bomb plant, but he's not even going to be able to get out of Palace. Instead, he will be just caught on the corner of the wall, I believe, and PHR has easy pickings. But now, coming into this one, this is when it's really important. Spirit, they get the buyout. Let's see what they're going to be able to get done. They do have enough for an op and body armor onto Davcost if they want to get the op to work with. It seems like he will be at least contemplating that decision, and the final result that he comes to is that he does want the op to work with. He wants to have the option to try and find those opening kills. And now into what is the 30th round once again. So many times we've seen games today go the full distance, and this final map is no exception, as there we go early on PHR to nade. So much damage connected on towards Davcost, brought down to 60 HP before even any contact is found.
Not a bad way to start the round, and Spirit don't have too many nades. Tao there had the chance to make the difference, but not quite reacting quickly enough. And after not hitting on that wider angle, he's going to go for an even tighter one, which I don't think he'll be that likely to hit. Either way, 1 minute 10 left on the clock. There you go, maybe getting a little antsy here in terms of throwing a lot of their utility early on. They might need to keep some of that for a late round retake. And it looks like they are doing so now. The mid presence is there again for Spirit, but PHR is in connector. I think a smoke has just gone up though, so he's not going to get a chance to get a frag. The Spirit look to be lining up the B splits. They haven't tested this B site all that often in the recent rounds. This could be the solution to their problems with 40 seconds left. Here goes PHR getting the one, but the trade will come in, and that's going to prompt what could be a push from Spirit as they extinguish the molly. It keeps on going. That's a little awkward. 30 seconds now, and Snatchy gets another kill. It's looking good for Ago. So the push comes back towards mid. Spirit have no clue what they are doing.
Yeah, they're bringing it back to the B-bomb site once again, and already the damage is being done. Forlan going to be able to shut down Coldy. Another great op shot by Tao, and it leaves it all onto Sundai Young. He is in a 1-on-4 to try and save his team and deny overtime from being brought, and it indeed will be Forlan to allow AGO now to continue on in this tournament. So going into overtime, this has been just as it has been such an intense game. It's been so close, so back and forth. I think both of us had ruled that Spirit were about to take it, but AGO bringing that back. So yeah, it's getting late. These players, though, of course, they still have the mentality to fight on Katowice. Such an important event for both of these teams.
And every round at this point, again, I mean, we've been saying it for these recent rounds. It's just going to mean so much for both of these teams, especially in overtime. 16k starting money. Every round should effectively be almost a full buy. We did see previously when it went to overtime, one of the players was forced down to a CZ. But for the most part, it should be all full buys. Again, if you are new here, it's going to be the first team to 19 rounds that could get themselves through to the playoffs. Unless we go to a second overtime, but I'm sure everyone is hoping that doesn't happen because it's starting to get a little bit late. But still, we have to play this one out. We have to see who is going to make it through. And Spirit, I mean, they looked decent on the T side there, but towards the end, they just couldn't get over the line. I'm not sure if it was nerves, but it did seem like in a couple of rounds, they didn't quite have an overall sort of idea of what they wanted to do. So maybe a little bit of time now to calm things down and make sure they know exactly what the plan is, because they will start on the T side again in overtime.
Yeah, and originally they were having quite a lot of success on this T side, but coming towards the last 6 or so rounds, they only, I believe, or rather the last 7 rounds, I believe it was, they were only able to win 1 of those. So yeah, AGO just looking a lot better on the CT side once they had their economy stabilized, once they were able to get out the ops that they wanted, once they were able to have all the utility to ensure that they could actually lock down these late round executes by Team Spirit. And I think that's something that does really tend to work against that very, very slow style that they play. If they aren't able to actually force the utility out from the CT side, it can get really dangerous. And of course, now heading into overtime, we will finally be going live. And let's see who's going to be able to pick up the first round of overtime. Will we see AGO continuing to build rounds? Or will Spirit finally be able to get another round onto the board?
Two AWPs for Ago. You can, of course, afford that. 16k is plenty of cash. Assuming they don't lose all 3 rounds, then they will be fine. Or I guess the first 2 rounds is the main thing to watch for. Either way, into this first round of overtime, we are again just going to see Ago in a fairly standard setup. Maybe a little bit more presence towards mid this time around, with PHR going for a bit of a peek in towards underpass, but now he will fall back towards A. The bomb being left in T spawn means this is likely to be another slow round. Let's just see if this time, though, Spirit have much more of an overall idea of what they want to do, because you did kind of see them get lost in the mid-round in the previous ones towards the end of that half. So here we go. Spirit's still just going to be spread out. Over a minute left. There's no need for them to make a decision just yet. With Davkost having this AWP, he might try and see if he can get an opening pick. Doesn't look like he will, though. SDY going to push in towards Underpass alongside Sotvik. Don't think they're going to be finding anything, though. Ago playing very passively, but the boost coming in. Ooh, Sotvik spots out Tau. He gets chunked down to half HP to start the round.
Yeah, going for a bit of a risky jump there to try and get the info, and there we go. Coldy going to be able to find the opening. Sumdai Young turns around and saves his teammate there by taking down PHR. So Team Spirit looks like they may finally be able to get around onto the board on this T side once again, but as I say, that's Snatchy looking to try and have something to say about that. He finds one spam through the smoke, Dima returns it, and of course those tracers are going to be giving away that position, so Snatchy is the last man standing. He will only find one more kill for himself. And Spirit finally getting themselves another round on the T side, but it's when AGO are already able to bring it to overtime. But of course that is the start they wanted. By no means is the game over yet. They've taken this advantage now once again, and let's see if this time they're going to be able to try and capitalize on it.
Yeah, they did struggle to close out their lead previously, although it was mainly when they really got there, when they got to the 15th round. That's when they couldn't close. So we'll have to watch out for if that becomes a factor again, if in those most crucial moments they struggle. One smoke out towards A, nothing else really to follow it up. Davkost looked to go for a pick out through Palace, but not going to happen. With Ago having easy vision on towards A ramp, they know it's not going to be an A play, so that smoke not going to do too much. This time around, Furlan is holding somewhat aggressively in towards mid. So Ago switching things up slightly with that AWP being able to hold off the mid aggression. It means they know that Spirit have not got mid presence. That makes things easier. But as soon as the push comes in, you wouldn't expect Furlan to be able to get too much done from his position.
Yeah, it is going to be difficult for him, of course, but he also has support from Connector. Right now, Groovy and I believe that's PHR in position to try and deny those players from being able to push up close on short at least, but Groovy, he gets a little bit overzealous there, goes for a peek, and we see he is going to receive an op bullet towards the shoulder. He does just about survive with 20 points of HP, but that's a good advantage early on for Team Spirit in terms of HP. But the only problem is they need to make a decision soon, and that decision has been made. They will try and make their way towards the A-bomb site, as Sumdai Young just continues trying to make some presence, using that utility to try and get some damage done, as his teammates now do group up to try and take over this A-bomb site, which has 3 players awaiting to try and defend it. Sotvik, of course, is going to be taking the lead, and as he just hangs back a bit, Dima now going to be the first man to get some action. He spots out a player on stairs and he wins that battle. PHR gets taken down, but the bomb needs to be planted ASAP. The time very low. It will go down. Davkost given the cover. We'll take down one before falling to Furlan. As now Snatchy also creeping out behind Triple. Will get spammed down by Coldy. And Team Spirit looking likely to take themselves another round as it's all onto Furlan. 1 on 4. And he is stuck in CT spawn at the moment. Players on both sides of him. He is being flanked out, but he's hitting the shots. He takes down Sotvik as well. The bomb planted for Connector though, which is going to complicate things a bit further, as he does at least know the position of that one player in the Connector. He's aware that there's a player behind him also. Dima up on top of the box will be found by the no-scope. And now it's all onto Sumdai Young. The time though, Furlan trying to stick the bomb. He should be found, but it's getting so close. He almost had it. Eventually Sumdai Young denies it, and Spirit just about take that round to get a 17-15 lead.
Jeez. Could it be closer at this point? I mean, it's just insanity. If Furlan got that clutch, if he stuck that defuse, I don't know what I would have said, to be honest. Either way, Spirit get the rounds. That's the main thing. They get the rounds, and they are up to their 17th, and they have the chance now to make it a flawless T side if they can win this one here. Again, though, there's still an AWP in the hands of Snatchy. The money not an issue when you have so much cash to kick things off. However, Ago, I think they're really going to need at least 1 round on their CT side, so still very important for them to remain fully focused here. Tao's going to be holding off towards B alongside his teammate Furlan, with just the rifle this time around. And with them only having the 1 AWP, they decide they're not going to heavily hold in towards mid, but they are going to peek in towards a ramp. So that's the information they have gained so far, that Spirit aren't necessarily likely to go for an A push. You can already see Spirit grouped up fairly heavily towards B. In fact, the entire roster seems to be thinking of going toward that position, but they're also going to gain the mid presence. That could allow the split to come in. But as I say that, Furlan does huge damage through the woods. Dima down to 16 HP before the push can even begin. That's not exactly the start that Spirit would have hoped for.
No, certainly not. Deacon is so low already, and he hasn't even been able to spot any players, but he still somehow finds that opening kill. Is going to be able to take down Tau. Furlan now, as the sole defender of this bomb site, will finally have some players coming to support him. But the key is now, as they make their way out, he will find one. Damages up a second, has the support from Groovy. And Sotvik on short, only going to be able to find one before he eventually falls. As Groovy, just attempting to try and stay alive and waste the time, will eventually fall. So now it's all on to PHR. He is on short, he has been spotted by Davkost, and he's in a 1-on-2. And it will be Spirit claiming themselves map point once again. AGO, we've seen them do it before, we've seen them been able to get this comeback. But will they be able to do it this time now, as they will swap to the terrorist side, and they will be required to pick up 3 rounds in a row to keep their IEM Katowice dreams alive.
Yeah, Spirit again, they're so close. Just one round will pull them over the line. And on the CT side, you would think that should be good. It's been fairly balanced between both teams though, so still yet to be seen whether they can get this one round. And there we go, they go straight for the 2 AWPs. SDY is going to pick up the second one, so I think he might just be AWPing in towards B apartments, holding quite a stable angle there. This is something I think we've seen from Spirit in the past, and it looks like that will likely be the case. SDY going in towards B with the AWP, so he will just look to lock down the apartments, whereas the rest of the team can make plays elsewhere, and Sotvik is going to look to make a play as he pushes in towards top mid. Flashes come in, and Snatchy misses that opening shot that maybe should have been a kill. But luckily for Spirit, they get out alive to start the round.
Yeah, as now AGO still going extremely passive. They may be perhaps a little bit scared at this point. Don't want to really take too many risky pushes. They don't want to give any chances for Spirit to get the opening kill and shut this down right now, as AGO, that may end up working against them, as they are actually going for a very similar round to what we've seen Spirit do on their T side, leaving 2 players holding mid, 2 players over in the B apartments also, and just 1 player holding for that A aggression. As for the moment, they themselves are yet to really cover any ground. We'll finally begin to send some players out towards middle. Still around a minute remaining, so plenty of time to try and get this control and then make a decision about where they want to go. They will need to do so eventually, and that's not going to be a good start. SDY, he takes down that first kill, able to drop Tau, and with PHR at least bringing it back, it gives them a lifeline now to try and bring this in their own favour. But in towards jungle, PHR getting himself into a great position, but it may not be enough. Coldy, he loses that fight over towards A. Sumdai Young with the op now over towards B. He has made the wrong decision to bomb, managed to hightail its way back up through connector, and it will be Davkost to find the remaining 2 kills. Spirit able to take that map 19 to 15 and take the series 2-1, of course, as they will now head on into the playoffs rather. So for now, we will just throw it back to the analyst desk.
Team Spirit coming all the way from the lower part of the bracket, winning against AGO in this best of 3, 2 overtimes, but they managed to do it, and they are now in a playoff with 4 already invited teams. So congrats to Team Spirit once again. Unfortunately for AGO, they played quite good, but not good enough to win here in this best of 3 series. With me in studio, only Hogar now, Danny,